Oh gosh, double me again. I'm slacking. What's up, everybody? Ooh, gonna get ready tonight. We got two ladies we're gonna be covering tonight. Oh, Letitia and Lori. Get to both cases tonight. Some updates on each. And then when we do the interviews for Lori Vallow Daybell case, that'll be two separate parts. Those will be coming up soon. What's up, Kib Kitty? Thanks for putting that up there. If you haven't hit like yet, please do. What's up, Skittles? Hope you're doing better. What's up, Butterfly? Cyberpunk1187, thank you for the sub. What's up, Chris? GP, nice to see you. Kevin Kraft. We're here. Where you at? Kel. Not first. Yeah, I hear you, man. So many ideas, so little time. I hear you. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. What's up? Thank you, everybody, for hopping in. Bow. Ooh. Crimezilla, what's up? If you have anything you want to send me on Discord, Gmail, or Twitter. I'll leave that up for a second. What's up, Jinx? Honeybee, how you doing? Look at it. I love the emojis. I love it. And of course, $84 today, huh? It was pretty close to that here. Pretty close. Aw, thank you, SRB. Appreciate that. Scout, how you doing? Ooh. Cold Truth, what's up? Appreciate you. Oh, I added a bunch more today, too. I'll throw the link up there in a second if you'd like to check out the karaoke playlist that I have together so far. I gotta be careful, though. I need to start making my own. Thank you. Just to get everybody in the groove, while I'm saying hi and chit-chatting and this and that. And then, we get to the Space Age funk beat from the old StreamYard. What's up, G? Ooh, you got a new picture. Where's Grizz? Where's he at? What's up, ATS? Appreciate you. Oh, wow, Kib Kitty. That's crazy. Yeah, I was a little late putting it up. Hot and humid there. Ugh. Thank you, ATS. Wonder if I caught what? What did I miss? What did I miss? Better tell me, Jinx. What did I miss? I don't see him. I know. Where's Grizz at? Yeah. Oh, we got all sorts of stuff. All right, let me throw that link up there for you guys if you guys want to check them out. Let me see. What do we got it up to today? 258. So if you want to check out what I have so far, it's actually pretty cool to jam to, the instrumental karaoke beats. It is. It's pretty. I like it. Oh, right. That's right, G. All right, we'll go ahead and open up panel in case anybody wants to hop up, say what's up. Chit chat for a few, and then we'll get into these cases. Oh yeah. Which one? Spotify or the YouTube? I have a ton of music on my Spotify. Ton. 88 hours, 89 hours, something like that. Tons of music on my Spotify playlist. This one, only a few. It's kind of hard to look it up when you have so many songs in your head. So we got some stuff on Letitia, some stuff on Lori. Like I said before, we're gonna do interviews. The Lori, all of them. Alex, Lori, Tylee, just any kind of interviews. So we'll have 2 separate nights for that. I'm still trying to see when I'm gonna do the 2-parters. But probably Saturday I'm gonna go through everything, kind of split it up, come out with an outline for each show, and then I'll have those posted up. I'll actually put those up early, and then but we'll be going into some Vallow stuff tonight, just some of the updates and stuff that we won't be able to get to when we get to the other shows. What's up, buddy?
Not much, sorry, I had it muted.
Oh, you're good. The music too loud?
Well, it was good for me, and I got my earbuds in. No, I didn't think you'd appreciate lathe noises, so I was just finishing up.
So what you been up to, man? What'd you do last night?
Work.
Well, yeah, I mean, when you were reaching out, you're like, you need to go live, man.
Oh,
like check out episode 1. See how raw I was.
When I'm having a rough night at work and you guys aren't live and I don't know what to talk to, it makes it rough, man.
Yeah, I hear you, man. You get, you know what I mean. You get used to the show family, and it becomes a part of your nightly routine. I understand.
Why do you think every Wednesday night I'm off, I go live just so people show up so I can be like, "What up, my peeps?"
You went live last night?
No, I was at my real job.
Oh, you were just work though. Okay.
Yeah, I go live every other Wednesday because I'm off every other Wednesday when you're on, because I know I usually catch a lot of the people in here.
What's up, Crimezilla?
How's it going?
Oh, going good. I rested it up, fresh, back for another few nights. Probably go live Saturday. Is that music too loud?
I don't think so.
Okay. So how are you?
I am doing good, thank you. It was a busy day.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, very busy, but good. I'm home now. I just got home about 7.
Oh, nice. Yeah, what time zone are you in? Eastern, huh?
Florida, Eastern.
Yeah. Wow,
you
ain't
guys
been home
can
too
take
long.
all the humidity somewhere else.
Does it really get that humid down there?
Oh,
yes, it does.
Really?
I've been down there in the summer. It is brutal. It makes Ohio look like nothing.
Yes.
What's up, Cherry? When I was in Fort Lauderdale for a while, maybe I was just because I was really young and I was just out there rollerblading in tank tops and shit. I just didn't care. I don't know. I always thought it was a decent heat.
Oh no.
But I guess it's humid, huh? Swampy humid?
Yeah.
Yes.
It gets worse as like July, August, and September are the worst. But
yeah, I made the mistake of being in there or down there in August before, and yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it.
Granted, I was younger, so it didn't really faze me, but I still remember what it felt like, and
yeah, it is definitely not for everyone, but like going to Disney and Universal Studios, I would never go July, August, or September ever.
Yeah.
It is so hot. And you're waiting outside for 2 hours for a ride? Yeah, no thanks.
Oh. Yeah, because in the humidity, you can't go in the shade and cool off. It's just as hot in the shade as it is.
They have fans and water misters, but it's not enough.
No,
oh yeah, I used to rollerblade all the time back in the day. All the time, I loved it. Skateboard.
Is that why you always wear your hat backwards so you could go faster?
The aerodynamics, man. How'd you know?
Yeah, you know.
Damn, I thought I kept that a secret all this time.
And I'm lucky because I'm on the coast. We get the
So,
breeze. Inland in Orlando, oh my gosh, it's like there's no breeze whatsoever.
Yeah.
really,
But
not off the
because I'm
ocean.
on the
Oh yeah,
coast,
because
we
you're
get that.
inland, right?
Yeah, I'm on the coast, so we get the breeze from it. Thank
I
goodness
bet
from the
that feels
ocean.
so nice, though. Yeah, I
Oh
bet
yeah.
that's beautiful, though.
Oh, it is. I mean, like
Rub it in.
Saturday, I'm gonna go to the beach for like 2 hours and then come home. It's perfect.
Do you go in the morning or at night?
The morning.
The
I
morning.
have sometimes I'll go at night and walk the beach. I try to walk about 15,000 steps a day.
Wow.
So, and we have a lot of bridges here, so and they have walkways, so I walk on the bridges too.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, it keeps you in shape because it's all uphill and then downhill.
Where was that
And then
parking garage that collapsed? Was that in Florida?
It was, but that's on the west coast. That was over by Fort Lauderdale, actually.
What?
Yes, they
I didn't
flooded.
see it.
We had so much rain here in 3
That's right.
days.
That's right.
It was awful.
Yeah,
We
because
were all
it like
flooded.
it flooded the airport or something, right? Didn't they have to
It
shut it
did.
down?
Near Fort Lauderdale was the easiest way to.
Huh.
Yeah, they were still
So,
rescuing people yesterday.
wow. Phantom,
And
I'm
it's not
about.
even hurricane season.
I know, isn't the weather so crazy this year?
Yes, it's all over.
All of these
I mean,
storms.
Midwest is getting a lot of tornadoes, which is crazy.
I know, Oklahoma got hit again today or last night, I think.
Did they?
Yeah. Some more
It's
storms were coming through last night and this morning, I think. A couple people
right.
passed away. So did you get to listen to much of the Lori Vallow episode, Kevin?
I did. Oh, I only listened to like 15 minutes of it. And I put my comment in the chat, and Lori was done with JJ.
Yeah, I
Are
seen
you
that come
done with the
across.
child
Yeah, I seen
with
that
special
like
needs?
her friend. Wasn't that her friend or something that said that? Or
Yeah, she told her
I
friend.
seen one of the videos come across my feed, and somebody sent it to me. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it said Lori was done with JJ. I was like, what? So that's when, because I was gonna have it open topic tonight, but then I'm looking through all of my stuff and it's all Letitia and Lori, and I'm like, well, I might also just make it a Letitia and Lori night. So, you know, I am gonna have those episodes coming up in the future with all the interviews, 2 parts, but I figured I'd at least get to the updates of Lori's case today, and I didn't want to focus a whole show on it, so that's why I'm splitting it up. So, but yeah, when you were working Tuesday night, did you get to check any of it out, Kevin?
Yeah, I was with you guys almost all night.
Yeah. What'd you think of all that stuff? I know some of it you kind of had to watch, but a lot of it was a lot of audio and stuff. What'd you think about the son's phone call?
I might have zoned out for that one because,
I saved that one for the end.
yeah, I was not there at the end because it got to the point where I was having such a hard time keeping up with the audio that I was like, I'm going to catch this on replay, and then haven't had a chance to go back yet.
The son basically told his mom he just wanted to answer.
Yeah, called her out.
Yep, and
called her out,
and I thought he did a great job. But
yeah,
you could hear the pain in his voice and the anger. He was very angry too.
Yeah, he lost everybody pretty much.
Yeah,
I'll go through the phone call again here in the beginning of this show, Kevin, so you can at least hear that part. because that is one of the newer things that came out the last couple days when it comes to this trial. And then, yeah, I'm definitely going to be checking out that Done with JJ BS crap that I've seen. Like, I think she just wanted the money. That's just what it seems like to me. It was about the cash, it was about the paycheck. Because even after when she knew that she wasn't getting the lawsuit, or not the lawsuit, but the inheritance, uh, she was she was texting, "Oh well, I still get the 4600 SS." I'm like, man, what the fuck? Like you're worried about money?
Well, and I'm
That phone
thinking
call was
the
her.
disability he got was probably closer to like between $600 and $800. So I want to know where that other money was coming in from. Was it
Yeah,
spousal support?
that's a good
Because
question. That's a real good
SS
question.
Social Security does not pay that kind of money.
Yeah, that's a good question. That might have been. What's up, Ava? Yeah, so we'll check out that phone call here in the beginning of this show, and then I'm not sure if we're gonna flip back and forth. I guess we'll just kind of see how it goes, and I'm gonna cover both of them however we cover them. It doesn't matter to me. Just kind of want to get to the updates: money, power, and adoration. Exactly. So, ooh, 1 second. We got Kib Kitty hopping up. What's up, Kib Kitty? Uh-oh. I'll put out another link if anybody wants to hop up. There she is. There you are. Are you here?
I'm here.
Thank you, Cherry Cherry. You there, Kib Kid?
Yeah, I'm here. I accidentally hit the exit button.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. That Lori Vallow, she had Kylie switch her bank account to Lori's bank account.
What?
So she had control of Kylie's money, Social Security.
Oh.
Right, but where was Kylie's? I mean, if it was $800 Social Security for the disability for JJ, where was Tylee getting money from?
From her dad that passed away.
That's what I thought. Did they give like $4,000 a month?
Yeah, I think it was like $1,300 or something a month.
Okay. They didn't think they gave that much money. Wow.
So then the other, so that only account, what'd you say, Kib Kitty? 13?
Yeah, so 13.
I'm thinking that's what I heard, $1,300 a month, around there.
That accounts for $2,000. Where's the other money coming from?
And then JJ was getting Social Security and disability and Social Security too.
Yeah, but they pay a maximum $800. That's max.
Yeah.
That's still not totaling 4,600. She said 4,600 SS.
Yeah.
So it's got to. What else?
I'm not sure what else she was getting.
Was that after Charles died? Did they? Was he?
She
in
got
the
like.
Yes.
Because it was her original father that might have been the 1,300, and then maybe she was getting more for Charles, even though the inheritance or the will, everything went to somebody else, not Lori.
Yeah, that's when she found. Yeah, because that's when she sent the text, because she found out she wasn't able to collect on the insurance money for Charles. So then she sent Chad. I can't remember. It was either Chad or Alex sent him the fact that she wasn't able to, that the money was going to go to his sister, but she said it's okay because I still get 4,600 SS. So it was after his death.
Okay.
Ava
Unless
says
it's a
something
lump sum.
about, she says they went over it today. All in all, I thought it was a lot more. Let me see if I can find a tweet about it because she was getting caregiver benefits too.
Oh, yeah, she got
Oh,
caregiver benefits.
got it.
Yep, that's
Got it.
right.
Okay, so that would be account for the other money. And
No,
she, though it's a smaller charge, by still taking the money and spending JJ's Social Security disability, that's a federal offense. So she probably has some federal things there. You can't do that. If somebody's gone, you can't take their money.
right. They were still getting the money as if they were alive, and they weren't.
And that's a federal.
And so she was frauding Social Security and stuff.
Wow. Really?
I forgot about the caregiver benefit. That's right.
Was a large settlement from Tylee. Dad Charles probably invested it.
There was a large settlement from Tylee's dad.
Chris says, I wonder if it was insurance payments for Joseph Ryan's passing.
That is very possible. That I can believe.
Dang, $4,600 a month?
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit, I wish. I wish. Dang. Yeah, let me know if you tweet me, Ava, because it doesn't give me a bell or anything.
Then they made sure of it.
Yeah, her son's testimony, it broke my heart. Huh.
Oh. Yeah, it was I mean, and he was calling her out too.
Oh yeah. That was his little sister and brother, you know.
Yeah, it's like he said, he lost his whole family. Because really he did. He lost his brother, his sister, his dad, and his mom, basically.
Yeah. And you know, I heard today that Lori, every time her and Chad went anywhere, like Hawaii or anywhere, Lori paid for him to fly. He didn't pay anything.
That gives us a little perspective on Chad. He was with Lori for the money.
Yep.
Wow.
She paid for him every time they flew somewhere.
Charles was financing it?
Yep.
No, Charles was in financing, meaning before he died, he worked in financing.
Oh.
But his money, his money was paying for.
Wow, this says approximating her income at $5,000 a month.
Sorry, Crimezilla, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no worries. I apologize.
Honey.
Oh, don't apologize.
Honeybee's asking, did Tylee's dad and Alex pass of the same cause?
That I don't know.
We are going to be getting into some Alex stuff tonight. I even thought about making a separate episode just on Alex because there's so much stuff, but I don't know.
Alex was murdered or killed.
I know, because it was like
Tylee's dad, I don't think it was murder. Hold on.
Well, Alex's wife, Zuma or whatever her name is, she testified that she went to work that morning. Alex was fine. And when she came home, he was in the bathroom deceased.
Yeah, and he told her like the day or two before, there's a bag full of money over in this location and it's all yours or something. If something happens to
Oh, I
me
didn't
or
hear
something
that.
like that. Yeah, I heard that today. Zulema.
Oh. Yeah, that's her name.
Oh, you're good. Honeybee Tylee's dad was unrelated. Wow.
What about Tylee's dad?
Had been passed for a while before they discovered him, Pam said.
He passed away in 2018. At least that's what I heard.
Well, since we're on the topic, I'm going to go ahead and go to my Vallow folder. And then I got some Letitia stuff. Maybe we'll save that.
It was Joseph Ryan. He was the third ex-husband of Lori. They found 59-year-old dead in his apartment.
Does it say from what?
Well, it doesn't say what it's from, though. Hold on, I'm still reading. He was in advanced stages of decomposition. So he was there for a while, obviously.
Thank you, Phantom. Didn't this already come up? It did.
Vallow said at the time she had not heard from Ryan, the father, in about 2 years.
Wow. I wonder what he... Because Alex, that was... What did they say for Alex?
Well, Alex...
I haven't heard.
That he...
Yeah. I'm trying to look up his death. It was from
bugging.
ACD, which is basically heart attack. He had cardiovascular disease.
Oh, it was a disease.
Narrowing
it wasn't
of the arteries. It can cause heart attacks and strokes. So, and the media or the police won't confirm if there's any investigations in Tylee's.
What? Wow, that's odd. That almost makes you think that there is an investigation if they can't say no.
Lori told the police he thought he committed suicide.
That's right, Honeybee. It was blood clots in the lungs. That's what I heard, now that you mention it.
A lot of death happens around Lori Vallow.
I know. It's like the Murdaugh family.
So Lori stated to the police that death would be an option before giving Tylee to her father, Joseph Ryan. Even
wow. Wow. Who said that? Lori?
Yeah, Lori said that to the police when they talked to her.
Man, I have a video. It's kind of lengthy too. It goes through all the text messages between Lori and Chad. Man,
this is
there's so much stuff on this Vallow.
Back in 2007, a Travis County affidavit obtained by Fox 10 revealed the arrest warrant for Alex Cox, the brother of Lori Vallow, who is now dead. The affidavit stated Cox shocked Ryan
Yeah.
with a stun gun
taser.
and threatened to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, he got arrested for it and he was charged with a felony. He made a joke about it on one of his stand-up performances he did in some club. I'm gonna, you know what?
Yeah.
If
What's the step? I'm confused with the names now. Charles Vallow died of. Cox told them that it was self-defense, so he shot him.
right, in the chest.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna have to do an offline StreamYard where we're gonna sit back and watch the Netflix Lori Vallow documentary, and we'll just do it offline, but kind of like a show. And then that way it can give everybody an opportunity to see it, because there's a lot of good stuff in that documentary too.
Oh yeah.
Like, I feel bad like some people can't watch it, so
Crazy.
maybe Saturday I'll put a community post out, and if anybody wants to join, they can join. Because there is, I don't know why some of this stuff that's in the documentary is not coming out. Great documentary though. Joseph Ryan was a severe diabetic, says Chris. Oh, Cassie says if you inject insulin under the tongue, you can't trace it. Makes it look like somebody passed of natural causes. Holy crap, don't mess with Cassie.
That kind of freaked me out a little bit, I'm not going to lie.
Don't mess with Cassie. Hope the hubby's listening.
We're still friends, right, Cassie?
Damn, Cassie learned that years ago.
From experience or somebody else?
That kind of scares me. Well, if something happens, y'all know what happened. He should be scared. What's up, Mother of Dragons? How you doing tonight? Thanks for hopping in. Damn, Cassie just dropped some knowledge. Holy crap. Yeah, so I'm gonna, if anybody, I can have 9 other people hop in. I'll probably do it Saturday. I'll probably do it Saturday at some point. I'll put a community post out, and then I'll put the link on there. And then if somebody wants to join, that I know, because I'll be booting other people out, I'm sure. But if other people want to join, you're more than welcome. Sit back and watch the Netflix documentary offline.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's because I started watching the first episode, and then I'm like, you know what? Like, there's some people that don't have Netflix or can't watch it, so why not just do an offline StreamYard? Then we can just watch together, talk about the case. I can still record audio and things like that, so I can use it for future shows or whatever. But yeah, so there is a lot of stuff on Alex. I'm gonna go ahead and switch. If anybody else would like to hop up, you're more than welcome. We're gonna start talking some Vallow. So we'll get in. What's the first topic we want to hit? Well, first I'm gonna play that not the 911, but the Colby call to Lori, Kevin, so you can hear that first since you missed it, and then after that, I got a whole bunch of stuff. So whatever part of the trial or the case you want to go over, I can go to whatever I have, and we can kind of chit chat about it. So is Colby done in the courtroom now? Is he? I do have a separate interview from him. Would you guys want to see that? He did it with the local news station. just let me know.
I think they're done interviewing Colby.
Yeah, hopefully he gets some help, because that's gonna.
Oh. Don't get
Gotta
me
be
started,
tough.
right? You're gonna mute me now. No, I'm muting me.
Mm-hmm.
That mental
I'm
health.
muting me.
Don't get me started. I'm just. Nope.
Oh, you're off. Let me see. I put the link up there. Yes, I did. All right. So let me show the folder here. I'll go ahead and play that call, or that call that he made to Lori, but they actually played it in court, so you can kind of hear him crying in the background. Let me see here. Now this one said enhanced audio, but the other one sounded a lot better that we listened to. So I'm gonna.
Yeah, it was pretty rough audio that I.
Yeah.
If you have like
said...
headset or iPhones, or what do they call them? The earbuds.
Earbuds.
That's the best way. I put earbuds in when I listened, and I could hear better.
This one was actually pretty good, so I'll share the link in chat. Let me see here. Because when I listened to the enhanced audio version that came out today, I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. So I'm going to play this one. Here's the link to this video if you'd like to have it. I'm going to turn down this background music just a little bit. All right. And then, are you there, Kevin? I want to make sure you're able to check this out. It's about 12 minutes.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I had the vacuum pump run. I had to get away from it. I've been muted.
Okay, I just want to make sure you can hear this part, buddy.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to stay away from the noise.
You're good. I think this audio is better.
Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You think you can hide from me?
I'm not hiding. You just quit talking to me?
Probably because you murdered my siblings. That's probably why you're talking to me. Maybe you should understand.
I didn't. I'm sorry that you feel that way.
You didn't do anything, right? Mom, I've prayed for you in my worst moments. I prayed for my siblings who swore to me we're okay. I thought I could trust you. I thought that you were a completely different person.
You've known your whole life.
I don't know a murderous mother.
You can make judgments when you weren't there and you don't know what happened.
What happened?
Everyone's making their own judgments.
Mom, you've been shoving BS down my throat for a very long time. I'm gonna talk to you.
You can be
in a
mad.
sweet. Hey, listen to me. I'm not mad. Listen to me. Fine, listen to me. I sat there and prayed. I can't tell you the amount of pain that I have felt from your decisions in Jesus Christ's name. It kills me to watch you sit here and tell me this is a trial. It kills me to watch you take the victim's route and say that this shouldn't have happened to you. When you are telling me that Chad Daybell came into your life and all of a sudden everything changes. And I'm talking about my spirit feels this. I prayed. I trusted you. I gave you every chance I could past my own limitations as a human being. I pushed past all of everything to try to get to you, to help my own mother. You lied to me, specifically to me, more times than I can count about this. To know that they're gone and you knew, and my phone's being texted by my little sister who's not even alive, my little brother who's the sweetest little kid ever. For what purpose? Can you tell me if this is God's will for my whole family, including my stepfather, to be dead? After everything that you try to tell me, you can tell me right now that Jesus Christ, the Savior of the world, is on your side. You tell me that with all the conviction in your heart that Jesus Christ is on your side right now. Please.
I can't tell you that.
It's hard hearing him balder and listening to.
Say his name. Say that he told you, and you followed him like exactness, because I have prayed for you. I sat there and tried my best to forgive you and Chad and Alex, and I was deceived, and I was broken by my own mother. What are you doing? What are you doing? I prayed to Heavenly Father, and I said, you tell me, Father.
Okay, have all made these judgments. They think they know what happened. They think
I don't care about
they know
other people.
what happened. They think they know what's responsible.
Do you know that you told me?
Everything.
Do you know what you told me?
Because you weren't there. So
You're right. I wasn't there. I was kept in
That's
a lab.
And one day,
Two kids
you will
were
know.
murdered.
One day,
Murdered.
you will know what actually happened.
You're right. Because you know what, Mom?
And we all will stand there with
everything
Jesus.
into the light. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right. He will convict the people who act in his name with pure blasphemy.
Wow, she's giggling.
This is funny.
Wow.
This is funny.
I didn't hear that last time.
Like, this is funny. How come your camera's on, Mom? You don't want to look at me in the eye? Why can't you look at me? It's
nice
just
to
you
talk
and me.
to
I'm in
you,
my house
folks.
alone.
I love you. I always will. One day you will see, and one day you will understand.
Go ahead and hang
I
up.
do love
See
you.
how that works for you. You gonna hang up?
I don't have anything else to say. You obviously don't know.
Let me tell you
You weren't
something,
there. You weren't there. Summer wasn't there. My mom wasn't there. The police weren't there. The FBI weren't there.
You're right.
Nobody
You know who
was there.
Kylie and JJ, Mom.
Yeah, and guess what? They know. They know exactly what happened.
Backyard.
And they love me. And we are still together forever. They love me, and they are fine, and they do know the truth, and I know the truth. And we're the only people that do. So you can judge me, Colby, all day long. Go ahead and judge me. The whole world has. The whole world has judged me.
Listen to me.
They don't know, and you don't know. You don't know what I've been through, and you don't even give a crap what they've been through. Nobody does, except for me.
Oh yeah, I forgot
I'm the
she's
one
married
that
to
knows.
Moroni.
I'm the one that was in the hospital with Kylie for hundreds of days watching her suffer. I'm the one that was there doing everything with JJ every day. I was the one who did it all these years.
You did it all to throw it in the garbage. They're not.
You don't know what happened.
Okay.
You don't know what happened.
Freaking matter what happened if they're buried in your new husband's backyard.
Exactly,
Tell me
Gene.
that matters what happened. You tell me that you did this in Jesus' name, Mom. I have to hear that out of your mouth. You believe it, then you are not afraid. Every witness of Christ will scream his name when he comes back. So you are that person.
I am that person. I am that person.
Christ,
and he will come to you. Oh, yeah, Colby, because that's what it is.
Okay.
You don't even know. You weren't even there. You don't even know.
When I asked you about Friday in October, what did you tell me? What did you tell me? What lies did you feed me? Why would you lie to me if you're with the Lord and you've seen him, and I'm just talking purely to you, and you've seen Jesus Christ, where's the fear? Why wouldn't you tell me something? Why were you afraid? Why is everyone against you? Why is everything against my mom?
You can be against me all you want. One day, we will all stand there with Jesus. We will all stand there with Jesus, and you will know the truth of everything.
Day, isn't it?
Not for me.
You're telling me that this was all done in light. Say it. Tell me that this was done in Jesus' name.
You don't know what happened.
Why? Why don't I know, Mom? Oh, because I was kept in the dark to protect me? You know who needed protecting? My little dead siblings. That's who needed protecting, Mom.
Aww.
This
Where were you?
is not
Is that what you think you did?
You ran away.
I hadn't been
killed. A month later, you ran away. I never wanted you guys to leave. I would have taken those kids in 1 second. I would bring them into my home, and I would have taken care of them. That's not even a question to me.
Yeah, everybody
You can't say that you know.
Everybody says that.
Says it now?
She
Where
says
was my
everybody
offer?
says that.
Where was the offer? Colby? Well, you
I did
had
everything
for
for
disobedience,
them.
while me
I
and
had-
Peter Griffin run away together to Hawaii? How about that? If you would have offered me, you would have known. You cannot sit here and lie.
Is this what everybody thinks? But that is not the truth. Okay? That's what people are
They were
thinking.
murdered,
They're
put in the
assuming.
ground, and then you walk away. So
You
what
don't
was the
know.
truth, Mom? Why
No,
did
you don't know that.
Then
No,
tell me
that
the
is
truth.
not what
Tell me the
happened.
truth.
That is
What
not
happened?
what happened.
You tell me what happened. If you can tell me what happened, then I don't care. If you can actually explain it, then it's different.
I would love
But you
to
can't.
talk to you about it.
Mom, you've been saying that you've been wanting to tell me for a very long time, and you never say it. You have no idea how much pain I have felt in my body. I feel like I could die. My own mom, my siblings, and my whole family, my dad, everyone is gone except for you, and you're in jail because of it. I have prayed to Heavenly Father himself and asked him to help me survive this. Do you understand the freaking earthquake that has been caused? Do you know how many people are hurt and broken now? And you're telling me that there's a reason? Why are you following Chad down the rabbit hole, Mom? Why would you follow anybody that is not good? How can you follow someone that cannot lead you to salvation in Jesus, Mom? You can't lie to me anymore. You can't pretend anymore. You can't hide anymore. If you want to tell me what happened, I called you for that very reason. You had enough condemnation for the whole entire eternity, but you're telling me that you're going to stand in front of Jesus Christ and you're going to be fine. Then I'm still praying for you. I am still praying for you. I don't know where the lies and all these things are written. I don't see it. I never have. The light of Jesus Christ is the most powerful thing that has ever lived. It's the most loving, embracive thing that has ever happened to this world. And I pray that you see him and fall into his grace. I pray it every day. I pray it no matter how mad I am at you, no matter how bad I want to hit your husband in the face with a shovel. I pray for you. I pray for him. You ripped my heart out, and you ripped out everyone in this family's heart out. I'm going to be in Idaho this week. You need to look me in my eye, Mom. Look me in my eye.
Man, when she laughed,
She laughed at him.
that
Oh my God, she's something else.
That was one of the hardest things I've ever listened to.
of course I got to put this up. Thank you, Baptismo. sometimes, unfortunately. But, you know, it is.
Evil's out there.
Yeah,
My heart breaks for her son, though.
that's probably why she didn't do the video. She couldn't look him in the eye.
Yep.
100% SRB. Yeah, very hard.
She reminds me so much of Letitia. Oh my gosh.
Like Letitia, her younger sister. I think Letitia tops it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Like
I was
she's
so
just-
thankful to have a break from that case today.
Oh yeah, they didn't have it today. Yeah.
No, they don't have it on Thursdays, so
This enhanced audio from East Idaho News. Don't even, if you want the link to that one, just let me know. I'll go ahead and send it out if you want the other one. Way better audio. I don't know why they even put enhanced, because it's horrible. Okay, so we were talking. What's up, Angela? How you doing? We were talking about how she was done with JJ. Now I have a Law and Crime Network. Lori Vallow Daybell was done with clean. Ex-husband was a demon. I'm gonna go ahead and skip that one. I think that's the full interview. Would you guys? I believe this is probably the full interview on Law and Crime Network, and maybe she just did a little snippet on News Nation. What would you guys rather watch? The snippet or the extended?
Law and Crime, I like a lot. They seem to be put out better information, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see. Let me click on the longer one, and then if we might chop it up or something, we'll see what it's about. Claimed ex-husband was a demon as well.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Oh, this is
Can you please introduce
So this is the whole testimony.
yourself to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and spell your last name for the record, please?
Of course. So my name is April Raymond. My last name is spelled Raymond.
April Raymond.
And ma'am, where do you live?
I live in Kilauea, Hawaii.
Okay. How long have you lived in Hawaii?
I've lived in Hawaii for 18 years.
Do you have any children?
I do. I have two.
And do you know Lori Vallow?
I did know Lori Vallow, yes.
Okay. How did you know Lori Vallow?
We met as we were both members of the Hanalei branch.
When you say Hanalei branch, is that a part of the LDS church?
It is. It's a branch is a division smaller than a ward. There's not enough of population to have a ward, so we have branches.
Okay. Do you remember when you met her at the branch?
I do.
When was that?
2016.
Okay. And how was it you came to know her?
So we were introduced at church, and she had become the president of the primary organization and had asked me to be one of her counselors.
Okay. And did your relationship just stay at church, or did it progress into a friendship outside the church?
We did have a friendship outside of our auxiliary responsibilities, yes.
Okay. And what was the nature of that friendship?
I mean, our children spent time together. We spent time in each other's homes, celebrated holidays together.
Did you get to know her daughter, Tylee?
I did.
Okay. Did you get to know her son, JJ?
I did.
Was her son, Colby, living in the home at the time?
Off and on. So he was there for a time, and then he was called on a mission, and then he was home again. So he wasn't there the entire time that the Vallows were there.
And during the time that you knew the defendant in Hawaii,
did they send him on a mission?
Did you know her spouse?
Yes.
What was her spouse's name at that time?
Charles Vallow.
To get him away.
How often did you see the defendant?
Well, I'm wondering if they were the head of the group or whatever, right? So they would be like, well, because I don't know, were they
would
like
be the pastor and the pastor's wife in a church.
Yeah, I don't know what you call the LSD religion, so I didn't want to disrespect. So yeah, I thought they were pastor and pastor's wife or whatever. So wouldn't they be the ones to send people out on missions because God had talked to them?
Missions trips are usually voluntary. They don't assign people to go.
Oh, okay. So they're voluntary?
Yeah, like I know one church I go to sometimes that's near me, they do a trip every year to Haiti. And like you actually have to pay, I forget how much of it is. And they subsidize a lot of it, but they also want to, you know, because if you pay to go there, you have more, you're more likely to do what they want to get done. If you actually
is that the same as the LSD branch religion?
It's not the same.
Because they're the ones
I don't know
send out people going to your door.
I don't know of any Christian church group that would actually make anyone go, where they just say you have to take X amount of time off of work, drop everything out of your life, and go. It's
you never know though. I don't know.
I'm not saying there isn't.
Anybody,
I don't know.
Is anybody familiar with the LDS? I'm sorry. Sorry. Is anybody familiar with the LDS religion? I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Come on, everybody's got to, the LDS. Is anybody familiar with it?
No.
Let me see here. Mission trips. LDS.
Make sure you know
the missionary. Request a visit from missionaries.
They're Mormon, and if I remember right, his name is Joseph Smith, who started it. It took me a minute.
Let me see. Meet with missionaries or online or in person. So you can send them a request and they'll come sit down and read. Let's see. Ooh, I know. Are LDS mission trips voluntary? Fresh answers to old questions. It took me to the same page. What? Come on. Missionaries serve 2-year missions.
It does say that
no, they're voluntary. Okay.
They believe in faith alone will get them into heaven through good works, basically. So if they do good for this society, then they feel like they're going to get into heaven. But I have to say, the Vallow, they are one of those people that if you see a road and if you go to A, it's the right road. If you go to B, it's taken the religion to an extreme. They went B.
Yeah, definitely sounds like that to me.
Yeah.
So maybe they did make him after all, possibly. I don't know. It's just a question.
He had some strange beliefs. I've been to the big Mormon church in Utah, and it's amazing. If you guys haven't been there, it's incredible.
What, the structure? Or?
Yeah, the actual building when you walk in, it is really amazing inside. You can't go into where they worship, but they have a place where visitors can go in, and you go up and around this. You go all the way up, almost like a stairway, and you go like in a circle, and it talks all about Jesus. And on the ceiling, it has the glass panel. It's phenomenal. If you've ever been in a Catholic church, it was a lot like that, except it was Mormons.
A lot of gold and
yeah, it was pretty.
A lot
amazing.
of gold and silk.
Oh, it was, yeah. But
gold and silk.
It also helps that. It also helps that a lot of Amish are Mormon and LDS.
Yeah, he almost did it.
Yes,
but I didn't. But yeah,
Nope.
so
He caught himself.
yeah, but I feel like
So they are,
were
huh?
extremist in their religion. They took Chad Daybell took it and made it much more extreme.
Well, I mean, Mormons alone it's a pretty extreme sect of Christianity. I mean, I'm pretty
right,
sure.
and I've had friends that are Mormons, and they were not as extreme.
Yeah,
They're
well, I mean,
extreme. Don't get me wrong.
yeah, I mean, like a true Mormon. I'm pretty sure it's the Mormons. They believe you should always have at least like 1 year's worth of food put back, and basically be able to live off without leaving your home for a year.
Yeah, I sat with a few women in a Bible study. They were Mormon, and it was a pretty rough year in my life with my little guy, and they were talking about heaven and hell, and I'm like, what are you talking about? This is hell. Note to self, don't say that to them. I got lectured for almost 2 hours of the difference of heaven and hell.
There's a part of me that wants to go off, but I also believe you catch more flies with honey than vinegar, which is why I don't bash people over the head with my religion.
Yep. I'm very open to different religions, and that's why I have friends that are Mormons, but they do have a pretty strict belief system.
Yes.
They believe in serving people, and it just so happened when we were there, they were getting out of, and I don't want to say church, because to them I want to say it's like a temple. The kids, not a peep. I swear there was 300 kids. You didn't hear one word, and they were all dressed up, and it was pretty amazing to see that many kids walking out and how well behaved they were.
Yeah. Oh, they're definitely all about self-discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much of. So Amish are.
They are. They have a Baptist belief. They have a background in. They go by the King James. I might be getting too deep. I won't go that deep. But King James Version. If you see KJV, that means King James Version on the Bible. And they do everything by what is in the King James Version.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it depends on the area, though, depending on what actual denomination they follow. Because I know south of me, where I go to get a lot of my wood, there's a ton of Mormon and LDS churches. So
yeah, the Mennonites are a step down from Mormon or from.
Shut up, CJ.
Is he with us? I'll be quiet now.
Oh, I'm cracking up.
He's making fun of me, which is why I'm telling him to shut up. He's being mean.
That's it. We're all going.
This shit's hilarious.
Yeah, they have
every time he catches himself. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Every time he what?
Every time he goes to say it, he catches himself. Shit's funny.
Yeah.
Well, because part of me wants to just keep saying LSD because it's like, you know, to me it's funny.
Now it's stuck in
but
your
I don't
head.
want to be offensive, so I'm trying to be respectful. But every instinct I have is be as annoying as possible.
No.
Like, you give me a choice between two things to say, I'm always going to pick the annoying one.
Yeah.
Who I am.
They have Amish here, but they're called Mennonite, meaning they're a little bit freer.
Yeah.
They're kind of like let's see. Okay, you pretend they're Catholic, or the Amish are Catholic, and the Baptists are Mennonite. They're a little more relaxed than the actual Amish people.
Correct.
They can dress a little differently, and they have a little bit more freedom than the Amish do.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like they can have electric lights, just not TV.
Exactly. It's electronics for them.
Yeah. Phantom was baptized under the Mormon Church.
Oh, there you go. You have somebody.
Mennonites are what I grew up with, says Jinx.
Yeah. Yeah, they're good people. I mean, they're all good people. But what I feel like what Chad Daybell and Lori did is they took it to the extreme.
Yeah, some
and
heavy
they worked to do what they
in.
wanted to do.
Yes, he added in what he wanted that religion to be. So he made it his own agenda for it.
Yeah, which is why it sounds like it's a cult now.
Exactly. And
did he have a name for it? Preparing a people? Was that the group or is that just the conference he went to? Preparing a people.
I would think that was. I would think that's the name of the conference. I don't know, but no, it sounded to me like he was trying to brand it under the LDS envelope of believers, but he made it his own little cult following because he wanted to make it sound like it was legit, so more people would actually participate.
He basically convinced Lori that they were two people of the 144,000 that were going to be saved when Jesus came back.
Yeah, I couldn't find
I don't even know where they're getting
anywhere.
that number.
144,000?
Yeah, I don't know where that number comes from.
That's biblical.
I'm seeing that anywhere.
That's biblical. You can look it up.
Okay.
It was in Revelations, wasn't it? 14 or something that we saw. We looked up a few episodes ago. Revelations 14. I think,
I'm not remembering that then, but I'll have to go back and.
I think that's what it was.
It was only.
Yeah, I've heard the 144,000 too.
Revelation
the 144,000. He thinks that him and Lori were the leaders, and they would be part of that 144,000, and they were bringing people into this and getting rid of the people that they thought were evil. In plain English, without religion, that's all it was. If they thought they were evil, they had to go.
Slaying zombies. Yeah. And they were the ones determining who's a zombie and who wasn't. And even though they didn't pass, they must have really passed and came back as somebody else. A zombie.
Well, I know the Bible also says Christ is the only one that can judge the heart of another man. So,
absolutely.
There's
maybe he felt he was. Maybe he felt he was some sort of Christ in the flesh.
I do know
he's no different. He's no different than David Koresh.
Koresh, yeah, I was going to say that too. 144,000 is in Revelation. It is referring to the 12 tribes of Israel, and they are Jewish. Chad made up his own religion.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I said, he took what is from Scripture, warped it into what he wanted it to be, and
there you go.
But tried to sell it off as
Revelation
if this is
14?
what the Bible says.
Yes, Revelations is the last book in the Bible.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if my mental's on point, if it was Revelation 14. I don't even know the Bible. But
hold on, I'll look it up for you.
I'm just curious if my mental's still there.
Yeah, because there's some crazy stuff if you ever go through and actually truly study Revelations.
Okay. So
Thank you, Angela. Appreciate that.
the King James Version. Hold on.
If it's easier to read and you have access, try a New King James. It takes a lot of the these and the thous out, but it keeps the essence of what it actually says.
Yeah.
Yeah, twisted in all the warp and fit and whatever he desires.
I'm just looking for the verse.
It confuses which verses you tell people, and then if they don't truly know the word of the Lord, then
Revelation 7.
7. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
It said,
I appreciate that.
do you want me to read it?
Yeah, sure. I just didn't want to misrepresent.
And I don't either, of course.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Especially talking about Revelations, that's some pretty hardcore stuff. If you actually,
close.
It's the end of time.
Word of the Lord
is what it has.
So Revelation 14 or 7.
7, and it says, after this I saw 4 angels standing at the 4 corners of the earth, holding back the 4 winds of the earth to prevent any wind from blowing on the land or on the sea or on any tree. Then I saw another angel coming up from the east, having the seal of the living God. He called out in a loud voice to the 4 angels who had been given power to harm the land and the sea. Do not harm the land or the sea or the trees until we put a seal on the foreheads of the servants of our God. Then I heard the number of those who were sealed, 144,000 from all the tribes of Israel. And just so you know, that's from, it's called the NIV, New International Version. If I did it in King James Version, it would be a lot harder to understand that. I did the easier Bible for you.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
That's the same version my pastor preaches out of. So
New International Version. Okay.
Yep, NIV.
Yeah, it's literally one of the easiest to understand.
It is.
All the translations out there.
Yeah. So that's where that 144,000 came from. And it does list all the tribes here that she mentioned earlier. But that could be for another day. I don't want to.
Yeah, or if somebody wants to type it up in chat, you can do that too, and then I can display it on the screen. And we'll go ahead and check some more of this. This is April Raymond. So she was a counselor at the branch of church they attended, basically, is how I'm taking it. Am I correct? She claimed... I'm not sure. I think that's what it is.
Charles worked from home a lot, so I would be at Lori's and Charles would be there quite often. He would come to a lot of the activities we did with the children.
Okay, so they did attend the same.
Okay, so you got to know Charles. How often would you see Lori?
We would get together maybe once or twice a week.
Okay. And what sort of things would you do?
We would go for walks together. She's a hairstylist, so she would color my hair. We would plan activities for the kids and go shopping in preparation for whatever we planned for the next activity.
Next
Friday.
activity at church?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did there come a time where the Vallows moved from Hawaii?
Yes.
Did you maintain your relationship with the defendant and her family?
To an extent, yes.
Okay. What do you mean to an extent?
I mean, we would stay in touch through phone calls or texts and then an occasional visit.
Okay. Did one such a visit occur in late winter, early spring of 2019?
Yes.
Do you remember when that visit was?
I do. It was February of 2019.
Okay.
And it was the weekend before Valentine's Day.
Okay. How did that visit occur? Was it a planned visit?
No, it was a very unexpected one.
All right. Can you tell us about that visit?
I received
Very
a call from Lori
unexpected.
that she and Tylee had landed in Kauai. She said that she was leaving Charles, had a lot to tell me. They were checking into their hotel, and that we would talk later.
Okay. And did you talk later?
We did.
All right. How did that happen?
She reached out to me. They needed a place to stay. I offered my home as an option, and her and Tylee came to stay with me the following day.
All right. Did you have a chance to talk to her about her situation back home?
Yes.
And when I say back home, in February of 2019, where did you understand from the defendant, Lori Vallow, that she was living?
In Arizona.
Okay. Did she talk to you about what was going on in her home in Arizona?
Yes,
yes.
SRB.
She said that a lot had changed. She said that her and Charles were going to be getting divorced, that Charles had an affair. And then the conversation changed to where Charles wasn't Charles.
So Charles was still alive when they
demon
went?
named Ned Snyder.
Huh.
And the conversation just kind of evolved from there.
Okay. So there's a lot in that answer. So let me make sure I understand. You had a conversation that they were getting separated or they were divorcing?
Initially, yes.
Okay. Who was visiting with Lori Vallow when she was at your home at this time?
Tylee was with her.
Where was JJ?
JJ was with Charles, was my understanding.
Okay. And did the defendant say why she didn't bring JJ?
What?
She said that she was done with JJ and that Charles and his sister Kay would need to figure it out.
Okay. And what did you understand that meant done with JJ meant?
Taken into the context of she's going through a divorce, I took it to mean that if they went through a divorce, that Tylee would go with Lori and Charles would take on the responsibility of JJ exclusively, was my understanding.
Okay. And during this, you also mentioned that she talked about that Charles was no longer Charles.
Yes.
All right. What did she say about that?
In terms of?
When she said Charles was no longer Charles, how was that connected to her talking about separating from Charles?
Sure. So she had said that Charles was already dead and that there was a demon living inside him and kind of using his body as a host, and that the demon's name was Ned Snyder.
Did you follow up on that? Did she give you any sort of evidence of this?
When I asked, how do you know that it's not
Right.
Charles? She said, because he's shorter.
What?
And did she ever talk to you about sort of that relationship in any other settings?
As far as
her relationship with Charles. I'm sorry, it's been a long day. Let me ask you a better question.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Did she have any other conversations with you about Charles at any other locations other than at your home?
During that visit?
During that visit.
It wasn't that week that she stayed with me.
Was there another conversation later?
Yes.
Okay. Was there any other conversations about Charles that week she stayed with you?
Yes.
Tell us about the conversation that occurred that week she stayed with you.
So during that week, apparently Charles didn't know that she was in Hawaii.
And why do you say that?
Because that's what she told me. And she said that if Charles reached out, to not tell him where she was, and that he was had a private investigator kind of following her, and that she had led him to believe that she was going to be in Idaho for a conference, and that he was going to be having her served with papers in Idaho.
What type of papers?
I assumed they were divorce papers.
Okay. Any other conversations that week they were in staying with you in Hawaii?
Dang, I need
that you can recall.
I need to share that.
Not really anything more than what we've already discussed.
Okay. And earlier you indicated there had been additional conversations. Did they stay with you the entire time they were in Hawaii?
No, they did not.
Okay. So after that week they were with you, where did they go?
Kauai Beach Resort.
Okay. And did you have contact with Lori Vallow while she was staying at the Kauai Beach Resort?
I did.
Okay. What contact was that?
So it was later in the month, and she had been joined by Melanie Gibb. And so Melanie Gibb and Lori and I went out several evenings. Once we went out for an afternoon lunch and then a couple evenings for dinner.
Okay. Where was Tylee at this time?
At this time, Tylee was, my understanding was she was back in Arizona working at her aunt's chiropractic clinic.
Okay. And was JJ now in Hawaii?
No.
Okay. Did you see JJ at all during the time the defendant was in Hawaii in February or March of 2019?
No.
Okay. And so you said you saw her a couple of more times with Melanie Gibb present.
Yes.
Okay. Can you think of, you mentioned a lunch. Where was the lunch?
We had lunch at a restaurant in Honolulu called Calypso.
Okay. And during that lunch, did the conversation of Charles come up?
Yes.
Or did the conversation turn to Charles?
Yes.
All right. And how was that conversation? What was that specifically about?
It was
Charles.
It was, I mean, a combination of things. There was, Charles had sent an email to Lori's family, kind of pleading for help. And she showed me the email and just, again, asked me not to respond to Charles if he reached out.
Okay. And was there another conversation about Charles and communications with him at one of the dinners you attended?
The conversation about Charles was more about now Melanie had joined the conversation and was kind of confirming what Lori was saying, that Charles wasn't
And I'll
Charles.
object to hearsay from Melanie Gibb.
Well, Your Honor, I'm not offering it for the truth of the matter story that Charles was in fact possessed by a demon. I'm offering it to show context to what the defendant said in relation.
Whoa.
So the objection is overruled.
Thank you. So I'm sorry. What did Melanie say?
Do you mind repeating the question just so I
Sure.
make sure I understand?
At the dinner that you attended, where you and Melanie Gibb and Lori were present, how did the conversation with Charles, or her relationship with Charles, come up?
The incident was brought up about Charles coming back from the airport where his car had been taken, his flight had been canceled, and just how angry he was about that taking place.
So when you say the incident, what does that mean?
So there was an incident where Charles had been on a business trip and Lori had discovered evidence of him having an affair, and as a reaction or retaliation, canceled his flight,
More like
canceled
he
his credit
discovered.
card, and moved his truck from the airport parking lot, and just kind of how that all unfolded and his reaction to that.
And so did Lori Vallow tell you about that?
Yes.
Okay. Did Melanie Gibb corroborate that conversation?
Yes.
Okay. In fact, did Ms. Gibb indicate who helped Lori in this?
I don't remember exactly.
Okay. So during this conversation at the dinner, did anything else come up about the Lori Vallow's relationship with Charles Vallow?
Melanie was just confirming what Lori had told me about Charles being possessed by a demon.
Okay. Now, during these various conversations, did the defendant ever talk to you about participating in the formation of the 144,000 who are supposed to shepherd in the second coming of Christ?
Yes, that was a conversation the first night that she stayed with me, when it was just she and Tylee.
Okay. And what did Lori Vallow say to you about that?
She said that she had been appointed leader of one of the 144,000 and that she was there to gather me.
And what did you understand gather you meant?
To join her.
Okay. And what did she say was going to be needed for you to do in order to join her in this group?
That I would need to be separated from my children.
Okay. Did she indicate why?
Basically that my children were raised, I'd fulfilled my role in their lives, and that I had a greater calling, a greater mission to perform with her.
Okay. And did she indicate that what you should do with your kids?
Basically just leave them with their father.
Okay. If I may have one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. I have nothing further. Thanks, Judge.
All right, Mr. Archibald, cross-examination.
So Lori was in Hawaii, lived there a year or two in 2016, 2017.
Correct.
And that's, you still live there.
I do.
And you two were friends and fellow church members.
Yes, sir.
And you say you had some kids. How old were they back then?
Well, now I'd have to do the math, but they're 17 and 18 now.
Okay. So, yeah. So maybe 10 and 12 around there.
Yes, sir.
So during this visit in February of 2019, you were getting caught up with your old friend, Lori.
Yes, sir.
And had you noticed a change in her belief system?
Yes.
So when you two were serving in your church together, did she believe in multiple lives or multiple creations?
Not to my knowledge.
Did she mention that in February of 2019?
Yes.
And did you ask her why she was changing her belief system?
I don't know that I specifically asked her that question, but it was my understanding that her belief system had changed because of this group that she had recently become a part of.
Okay. And so previously, when she lived in Hawaii with you in 2016-17, she didn't have any what would call out of the
first were introduced to this guy. It was like,
not from my observation, no.
I feel.
And then in February of 2019, you noticed that her beliefs about Jesus had changed.
They started to change a little bit prior to that. There was a visit before that 2019 visit in July of 2018, and that's the first time, but that was after she had moved to Arizona. But that was the first time. And then the visit in 2019, the beliefs were more amplified than before.
Okay. So in July of 2018, where did you two visit?
At Quiet Beach Resort.
Okay, so that was also in Hawaii.
Yes, sir.
And in 2018 or 2019, did she start to talk about multiple lives, being someone else in a previous life?
Yes.
And did you believe in that?
No.
And did the church that you two attended together, is that what they taught?
No.
Did she, in July of 18 or February of 19, did she start to talk about zombies?
Not in 2018, but in 2019.
Okay. And is that something that you two had previously talked about in Hawaii in 2016?
No.
So that was something new as well.
Yes.
How about casting out evil spirits? Did Lori have that new belief that she had some power to do that?
Not that she shared with me.
Okay. In July of 18 or February of 19, did you talk about castings?
No.
Okay. How about a light and dark scales? Did you ever hear that, or did she talk to you about that?
Yes.
And when was that?
In 2019, at my home.
Okay. And did you think that was unusual?
Yes.
Certainly something that you two had never talked about when you lived in Hawaii previously in 2016.
That's correct.
Did she tell you in 2019 that she was a goddess?
Yes.
And what was your reaction to that?
I just tried to not react and just listen to her.
You mentioned that she said she was a leader of the 144,000. That happened in the February of 2019?
Yes, sir.
And had she ever mentioned that in 2016?
Not in 2016, but in 2018.
And did you ask her where she was starting, or why she was starting to change her beliefs?
Yes, and it was that she had had some experiences in the LDS temple that had changed her view of herself and her life. And then she had found these, like a group of like-minded individuals who had also had those same experiences.
And did you, when she was telling you that, did you believe it?
No.
And did you tell her that?
Yes.
And what was her response to you?
I don't think she was upset. I think my impression was she just thought I wasn't ready to hear it, maybe.
Okay. Did she talk to you about setting up a new church called the Church of the Firstborn?
No.
When you two, you say you served together in a branch in Hawaii. Is that in 2016, 2017?
Yes.
And what organization was that?
It's called the Primary.
And the Primary is for children?
Children 12 and under.
And so what did you and Lori spend time in Primary teaching children?
So you would teach from scriptures. She has a strong background in music, so she, did a lot of music time with the children. We planned activities for during the week, holiday parties. Usually had one activity a week, and then the services on Sunday that we would plan and participate in.
And so for these activities and for the lessons for these children under the age of 12, were they taught about Jesus?
Yes.
And were they taught that Jesus was good?
Yes.
Were these children taught that Jesus healed sick people?
Yes.
Were they taught that Jesus cast out evil spirits?
Perhaps. I don't recall specifically.
Okay. But just simple lessons about the love of God and how we need to be good people.
Yes.
That was the subject of the lessons in 2016.
Yes.
And so with your friend 3 years later, you'd noticed that her focus wasn't on that anymore. It was on other things.
Yes.
And did you know Melanie Gibb before she came and joined you that one time in Hawaii?
No, that was the first time I met her.
And was she, in her belief system, she was similar to Lori?
Yes.
From the statements that Melanie and Lori were telling you about their new beliefs, were Melanie and Lori on the same page with that?
Yes.
And they asked you to join?
I think it was kind of like a subtle grooming is how I would describe it, just kind of testing the water to see my reaction. But I could feel that the ultimate goal was to include me.
Okay. And your response was no thanks?
Not interested.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Archibald, that then concludes the cross-examination. Does the state have any redirect?
Very briefly, Your Honor.
Very well.
Well, there you go. Even her friends knew that she was going nuts.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I guess she would have had to be in contact with Charles to really be able to, because it seemed like he was on his own. The brother that he was in contact with, Chad, Lori's brother, Lori didn't talk to him because Lori thought that he thought that she was crazy, so she wouldn't talk to him. So he was in communication with Charles. He was in communication with Charles up until the moment he was shot, really, because he even contacted Charles by text message, letting him know that Alex was there when he went to go pick up JJ that morning, that he was shot. But
yeah, anybody that doesn't believe her, she doesn't talk to, or they die.
Man,
that's messed up.
Let's see here. Yeah, and I kept wondering, was that the defense? Like, it just sounded like he was just coming up with a bunch of shit.
Right. I didn't understand his questioning.
Gosh. Well, check this out. There's a clip. It's just a short clip. It's Chad Daybell's kids. Where is it? I have it somewhere. Here it is. They claim that he's innocent.
But I'm sure they're also brainwashed.
Ending to the tale of the two missing children, the remains of Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow found buried in shallow graves in Chad Daybell's backyard.
Oh, it's not showing it. Hold on.
For the first time, the 5 Daybell children, Emma, Garth, Seth, Mark, and Leah, are speaking out together in defense of their father, who has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Mm-hmm.
Did your father, Chad Daybell, play any role in killing JJ and Tylee?
No.
Then why were their bodies found buried in your father's backyard?
I don't know, but I do know that if he were to commit a crime, he wouldn't be foolish enough to put the evidence in his own backyard.
Wow.
Nor would a one-time professional gravedigger have dug such shallow, crude graves, says Seth.
He knew how to dig graves, and that just doesn't sound believable to me.
But
He-
investigative
he-
reporter and
he was a
CBS
grave
News
digger.
consultant Morgan Lowe says that argument doesn't hold up if Chad were in a desperate
He
panic.
was a grave digger.
Saying that somebody's prior
what he did for a
experience as a
living?
grave digger, they wouldn't just slowly bury some.
What?
Is that what he did for
What,
a
Kevin?
living, digging grave?
He did that. He did that back in the day.
Okay.
And then he wrote some books. He wrote some books about being a grave digger or something. Then he supposedly had a couple near-death experiences, and then that's when he started writing all these books.
Gotcha.
Came up with
Yeah,
his own publishing company.
I heard he only made $2,000 a year on selling his books.
Probably. Probably.
That's good money.
I mean, come on. I could write a book about 2 near-death experiences, you know? Come on. Anybody could.
Heck, we could probably write more. We could probably write a book about stuff we saw over by those cadaver vans back in the day and make more than that.
Yeah. I mean,
I hated that
or when I would
Oh, did I hate
when I
that
would
for?
detail hearses and shit, and I would
Yeah.
literally have to lay down on my back in the back to be able to detail those things. It was creepy for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is full of crap. I think he wanted to try.
A guy I went to high school with drove a hearse. That was his car.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I would do just to get the funny looks from people, but I'm a bit off, so.
I would drive it if it was a Ghostbusters hearse. Other than that,
That would be pretty fun.
think-
I'm not gonna lie.
Ghostbusters would be cool. Ghostbusters would be cool. All right, let me finish this clip up here real quick. 1 second.
Somebody discounts
He just had
all of
these
the
guys
psychological
brainwashed.
pressure that might be affecting
He
somebody who's
wouldn't put
trying
the
to get
evidence in his
rid of
own
bodies.
backyard.
This is where Tylee's body was found. It was back here.
Emma took us to her father's backyard to show us another
wow.
reason why she believes her father wouldn't have buried JJ and Tylee here.
You can look around for miles and miles.
Their property is surrounded by plenty of places to hide a body.
There's land down there that no one would ever touch.
What do you say to those people who are still very skeptical with all of this?
But they would see somebody. It's
Might
flat.
seem like a convenient excuse, but if it
It's flat. You would see somebody doing some digging, and I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's a lot of land, but it's flat. You could definitely see it. It would. I don't know. I think you would catch somebody's attention more if you were digging out in the open field than you would in your backyard. I don't know what her reasoning is. I really don't know.
it's the truth, we have to hold to it.
Emma believes the children were put in her father's yard on purpose.
He was framed.
It all goes back to this woman, says
So what, is
Emma,
she gonna blame
her
Alex
father's
too?
new wife, Lori Vallow Daybell.
It sounds like everybody's gonna blame Alex.
Everybody's going to blame Alex because he's dead.
We didn't know nothing. That's what it sounds like to me. So testimony, it says here, testimony unravels lies about kids' location.
New developments today in the Lori Vallow murder trial. The doomsday cult mother accused of killing her 2 youngest children, believing they were possessed. Today's testimony gave us a glimpse into the lies that Lori told in order to conceal what truly happened to 7-year-old JJ Vallow and 16-year-old Tylee Ryan, including testimony from a babysitter who was told JJ went to stay at his grandparents.
Yeah, you
when she
shot that
asked if she could
raccoon.
babysit. A school principal who told the jury that Lori said JJ would no longer be in school because he was moving to Louisiana to be homeschooled. And then, of course, there was the dean of
Ooh.
students at Brigham Young University, Idaho, where Lori often said Tylee was attending school. He testified Tylee was never a student there or even applied. Joining us now from outside the courthouse in Boise, Idaho, is law and crime correspondent Gigi McKelvey. Gigi, wow, witness after witness drove home the point today. Lori Vallow is a liar.
Yeah, that was pretty much the summary of today's testimony. We had so many people up there. It was brief. This morning, people were on and off the stand, just getting those lies out to the jury. And not surprising, I think, to them at this point, they've been shocked enough.
I was really struck by the testimony from a named David Warwick, who was among the last people to see JJ alive. He was staying with Lori and JJ at their apartment for a 3 days. Woke up on day morning, September 23rd, and asked, "Where's JJ?" And Lori said that he had a fit and that Alex took him away. JJ was never seen again.
No, and actually probably around the time he was asking to see JJ would be about the time that Alex and Chad were burying his body on Chad's property. David Warwick also mentioned something that we had never heard before, which was that Chad had scratches on his neck that he said came from JJ. Now, people don't realize this. Chad's a very tall man, maybe 6'3" or you know, just not a short guy. So it haunts me to think, was he laying down trying to subdue JJ, and JJ's fighting, you know, to get up? It was very disturbing. Everybody in the courtroom just cringed when that was said.
One of the other things that this witness, David Warwick, said was that he noticed at one point that Chad and Lori and Chad Daybell were acting very romantic and affectionate with each other. And he knew that Chad was married. He's Mormon. He said, "Hey, Chad, how's your wife?" And Chad answers and said, quote, "She's a good wife, but her time is coming up." And that he and Lori were going to do things they needed to do for God. That sounds really chilling.
It is. And what's surprising to me is that this isn't the first person that Chad told Tammy would not live to be an older woman, that she would die young. He said the same thing to Julie Rowe, who was somebody that he published about 5 of her books in the early days of his book company. So this isn't the first time he has said that, but this actually was way close to the time when Tammy Daybell would be murdered, less than a month, actually.
Yeah, and just so sort of surreal that they would have been so open about what was clearly going on between the two of them in front of people, not at all concerned that they were watching. All right, Gigi McKelvey, great as always to hear from you. Thanks for your reporting tonight from Idaho.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find new.
It is Honeybee. I'm like, you know what? I might just change the title here and keep going with it, because there's so much. I mean, you got Alex. We're talking about Alex. We did watch It's a Crime. Let me see. There's something else here. Let's see. We got Doomsday Cult Mom Trial, Alex Cox's death, Court TV. It's a Crime. We do watch her from time to time. This is his timeline in history. Yeah, let's check this out since we're on the topic of Alex. And then I think I have some testimony from his wife as well. So let me get It's a Crime. If you're not subbed to her, please do. Great channel. And she does some work with Law and Crime Network as well. Yeah, there's so much to this case. I might end up talking about a lot of it. Maybe just cover Letitia a little here and there. That one's hard. So this is It's a Crime. This is Alex's timeline in history. And I'll put the link if you'd like to hop up on panel 2.
Welcome to It's a Crime. I'm Linda, and today we're going to be talking about Lori Daybell's brother, Alex Cox. He's the same brother who assaulted Lori's third husband, killed Lori's fourth husband, and now Alex is dead. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him first, and then I'm going to dive into his timeline. But before I get started, if you'd like to be part of the It's a Crime community, please click that subscribe button and hit that notification. Give Sarah where you click that. Let's get is Alex Cox. And as I mentioned, it's Lori Vallow Daybell's brother of warrants for Lori. And even a few family members had mentioned that whatever Lori wanted, Alex would do for her.
What's up, Crime
He
Geek?
does have a bit of a violent history, and he is now deceased. He died in December 2019, almost 2 weeks after he got married in Vegas. But I will get more into it in the timeline. So let's rewind to 2007 for a minute. Lori's third husband was named Joseph Ryan. And in 2007, he was Lori's ex-husband for 3 years at this point. And Joseph is the biological father of Lori's daughter, Tylee. And in 2007 in Austin, Texas, Alex attacked Joseph with a stun gun and stunned him twice, causing Joseph to fall to the ground. He also threatened to kill him. Now, Alex was charged with aggravated assault and spent 90 days in jail. And this is what the affidavit said. The accused told Ryan that they needed to talk. Shortly thereafter, the accused reached into his clothing and pulled out an object. At the same time, the accused began to lunge at him. Ryan thought it was a gun that the accused was reaching for. Ryan turned to run. He felt a shock to his shoulder. As Ryan ran, he was shocked a second time in the back. The force caused him to fall to the ground. By now, Ryan had realized that the accused had a gun on him and not a pistol. He was able to get his hands under him to break the fall. At one point, the accused made a threat to kill Ryan. Ryan was able to get up off the ground and flee. He was chased around the corner of the building by the accused, where they encountered witness Francis Lakai. Lakai actually saw the accused with the stun gun. The accused then stopped his pursuit of Ryan and began to walk away. Ryan was treated at the scene by Austin EMS. He was not transported to the hospital at the time, but he did go to the hospital the next afternoon for chest pains and was admitted overnight for observations. He had neck and wrist pains as well. He was found to have a fracture in his right wrist from the fall. At the time of the assault, Ryan reported that he was in fear for his life. When the accused first reached into his clothing, he thought the accused was going to shoot him. The accused made a threat to kill Ryan. When Ryan was on the ground after being shocked, he felt that the accused would seriously injure him as he was still suffering from the effects of being stunned, shocked. So Alex gets sent to jail for 90 days for this. And while he was in jail, he wrote 4 letters to his best friend, whose name is Mary Tracy. And they met a year before at a comedy club in Phoenix. And Mary did stand-ups, and so did Alex. And they quickly became really good friends. Now, before Alex assaulted Joseph, Mary, that she remembers Alex telling her that he had to go to Austin, Texas and handle family affairs. So Mary believes that Lori told Alex that Joseph had harmed Tylee. And this is what she says. Alex claimed that Joseph was harming Tylee, him that.
What?
And she also just as really obsessed and almost fixated with this design. So he married these jail. He would always seem to bring up Joe in them. And in one of them, he says, "Do me a favor, call Janice," which is Alex's mother, "ask her to put Joe's address on a postcard and license number. I think it would be popular here." And then in another letter, he says, "P.S. Can you get a picture from Lori of one of her ex-husbands and send it to me? Some of the guys would like to hang out with him." In 2011, Alex was ordered to pay $5,000 in restitution to Joseph Ryan, and Alex was put on probation. Now, if we fast forward to 2018, on April 3rd, 2018, Joseph Ryan is found dead in his apartment in Gilbert, Arizona. The autopsy lists his cause of death as a heart attack, and Joseph's body was cremated. Authorities are actually now going back and investigating his death. Lori reported telling a family member that she received his life insurance policy and planned to share it with Tylee. Now, that family member also said that Lori stated that Joseph was evil and God took care of him. And Lori, when she got this policy, or supposedly got this policy, she was currently married to her fourth husband, Charles Vallow. Now, if we fast forward a little bit into January 2019, Lori was married to Charles Vallow. She starts doing some shady stuff, and I do mention it in a previous video, which I'll put right here. She starts pilfering money from Charles, and she starts to do all kinds of crazy stuff, and they get into a fight, and she decides to take off on a 58-day tour.
Wow.
So Charles files for divorce. And during these 58 days, it's noted that she took off with Tylee to Hawaii, and she also spent time with her brother Alex Cox at his home.
Appreciate that.
And during this time, Lori and Alex have a huge fight, and it's actually in the middle of the street, and it was described as a knockdown, drag-out fight in the middle of the street. And it was so bad that neighbors were saying that they were close to calling the authorities. And one neighbor says, "I heard this huge commotion. People were coming out in the street to watch what was going on. I thought they must be husband and wife because it was the sort of fight you don't normally have with your sister. She was screaming at him, accusing him of bringing disgrace to their family. I joked with my wife that I thought he might have killed her after their argument. And after this was all over, Lori left the house and didn't come back." So on July 11th, 2019 at 8:30 in the morning, Charles Vallow comes to Lori's house to pick up JJ and take him to school. But Alex is there at the house. And allegedly there was an argument, and Alex ends up shooting his brother-in-law Charles in the chest. And he claims it was self-defense. He even goes and calls 911 himself and lets them know that I just shot my brother-in-law. And he talked about he never saw Charles so angry, and that Charles came at him with a bat. And on this 911 call, the operator asks Alex, "Do you want to perform CPR?" And you can hear him say, "Nah, I don't know how to do that." She goes, "Well, that's okay. I'll show you how to do it." And I'll put the 911 call link in the description below. And so he says, okay, and she starts to give him directions on how to do CPR. Now, the one thing that's super interesting when I heard it, I was like, wait a minute, it doesn't sound like he's giving CPR. And some people might say, well, what does CPR sound like? Well, you're actually using your whole entire body. And so you'd be out of breath. And how are you going to hold it while doing it? It's just, it was really, really strange. And I do have a video where I talk about that. So I'll link that as well up here or in below. And it'll go, it seemed like he was seeing direction, maybe started a little bit and then just was like, no, because it sounds like he's not giving it. That's my opinion. And that's actually a professional paramedic's opinion too, because I got one. Of course, we could never know if he was or wasn't, but it just sounds like he didn't put much effort into it. So the authorities come and they question Alex outside the home. He tells them that Charles came at him with a bat and he's sitting there dabbing his head. And he said he went into the bedroom, got his gun, and came out and shot him. He says, I turned around and he hit me in the back of the head with a bat. So I went to my room and got my gun. Something to note is that Alex only lived 23 miles away, but yet he was staying at Lori's house. And the neighbors were saying that he stayed there for several days, but he said to the officer in the body cam video,
I thought he
said that I was just staying overnight. We're going to do something fun today. And so after this,
I thought he lived in the same Wasn't it like a duplex or something? I thought he lived like right next to him. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I heard he moved with them or something. Have you guys heard any of that? Good night, Crimezilla.
Oh, did she leave?
Yeah, she got work early tomorrow. Appreciate you hopping up. Right, exactly, Crime Geek. They don't do compressions. But I thought that I heard that he moved with them and they were living in the same, like, real close to each other. No, I thought they moved in together, actually.
It's hard to keep track of when
She's
he
saying
lived
he
with
lived
her and when he
23
didn't.
miles away. He lived 23 miles away, but he would spend days, multiple days over there. I don't know. I just thought I've heard different. Does anybody in chat know? Yeah, a couple duplexes away. That's what I thought. Or an apartment or something. I thought it was like real close. So I don't know. It just caught my attention. But I think she's basically going into everything that took place after. So that was just a little bit of background on that. There's something with his wife. Now let me see here. Disturbing takeaways. This is Law and Crime Network again. Now, this is disturbing takeaways from Alex's wife's testimony. So we'll be going back to Law and Crime. And let me drop the link in chat if anybody would like to hop up. Maybe I'll cover Letitia like on an afternoon or something this weekend. Just a short, quick show. Maybe something meant for replay or something, So this will be Law and Crime. And this is Alex's wife's testimony. I know she talks about the cult, and I think she talks about what he told her about, like, there's a bag of cash in case something happens to me and all that weird stuff.
Hey there, everybody. Good morning to you. Welcome to Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber, and thanks for joining us. Big day today. We continue to follow doomsday cult mom Lori Vallow Daybell. Now, she faces multiple charges. She faces first-degree murder charges for the deaths of her children, Tylee Ryan, JJ Vallow, as well as her husband's first wife. You have to remember that if convicted, the doomsday cult mom faces life in prison. She's also facing conspiracy charges as well. And really, we've been following this case from the very beginning. This has been a very interesting case to follow. Yesterday, we're in a room today. So jurors heard the testimony of a key witness. Zulema Melanie. Anybody who's been following this case knows who she is. She is the widow of Lori's brother, Alex Cox, who is so deceased. Now, let's actually take a listen to some of her testimony, because I will tell you, I think this was pivotal for the prosecution's case.
What was Tylee's rating?
4.1 dark.
And on that same document under Tylee, there is ratings for Charles Vallow, correct?
Yes.
And what was his rating now?
3 light.
What was the rate for Melanie Boudreau? I believe that's down at the end, and I know the print's hard and the scale, the lighting's hard in here.
3 light.
Okay. And what about Brandon? What was Brandon's rating?
3 dark.
And this was based on teachings from Chad?
Correct.
Okay, let's talk about it, but I'm not going to talk about it by myself because we have with us a very special guest, our very own Gigi McKelvey. Joins us from outside the Ada County Courthouse in Idaho. Gigi has been her eyes and her ears. She's been in that courthouse. Gigi, good morning to you on what appears to be a very snowy day as we resume trial again. Now, I want to talk about Zulema. My interpretation was she was a key witness for the prosecution. If you can tell us, what were some of her main takeaways from Friday? And more importantly, how did the jurors react to her testimony?
Well, the jurors, again, had another day of kind of disbelief with what they were hearing. This is very new to them, and you can tell they're very, their facial expressions tell a story. I think some of the biggest key takeaways from her testimony, you know, it seems like with every witness, it gets more and more devastating for Lori Vallow up on that stand with each one that comes and goes. With Zulema, one of the biggest things that stuck out to me is their theory that you had a very small window to kind of seal away that body before another
I'm not sure,
spirit
Crime
could
Geek.
enter it.
What's up,
which
Professor
would be
Plug?
by
Pug?
burning and binding. So let
Thanks
me
for hopping
remind
in.
you, Tylee was dismembered and burned, and JJ was bound when their remains were found on Chad Daybell's property. Very devastating stuff. The other big thing that stuck out to
Yeah, it
me
is.
at one point, Zulema asked Lori, "Where's Tylee?" And Lori put her hand to Zulema's mouth and said, "Don't ask." Things like that are huge for this jury. It gives,
Wow.
you know, it tells the story that she's not worried about her children, and clearly she hasn't seen them in a while. This was in October, November when Zulema came to stay. So a couple of months after the kids were murdered.
And by the way, this is the first time this jury has really ever heard
We got some
any of
storms
this.
coming
They're not like
through.
you and me, Gigi, who have been following this case from the very beginning. They're hearing these things for the first time. Now,
Sorry if it gets
I
choppy.
thought it was really pivotal when she said that Lori turned to her at one point and said what she said about JJ. You know, JJ's not even JJ's whereabouts, but that JJ was going to have a short life. You know, that's a pretty eerie comment to make when we all know what
Wow.
ended up happening. On top of the fact
Wait
that
till you
it was,
see-
you know, tying her to those comments.
I just want to say, wait till you see the text messages between them. We'll be going in that in another episode where I don't know. I'll think
I
about
thought
it. We
the
might go into it
conversation
tonight. I don't know.
about
yet.
about what Lori was saying the night that Tammy was shot at. So there was a point when Tammy Daybell was actually fired upon. She wasn't hit, she wasn't struck, but walk us through what
Good night, Pam.
Zulema said about what there's so many different characters. Walk us through what Zulema said that Lori told her on the night that Tammy was shot at.
Well, actually, Zulema overheard Lori on the phone talking to somebody and said, "Idiot, he can't do anything right." Now, remember, he had missed Tammy Daybell, he missed Brandon Boudreau. And so it's interesting because they tell him he's there to protect her, and he believes all this stuff 100%. But clearly, you still kind of get that when he doesn't do it right every time. He's an idiot. He's a moron. Kind of there. Lori's bus goes, by the way. She's arriving for court this morning. But, you know, it's kind of that thing where when they need him, he's gone. It kind of like darks. Anybody who got in their way was dark. Anyone
Yeah,
who's working
exactly.
against Lori in her mind was dark.
Yep.
Brandon Boudreau, you've got
If you don't
her brother,
agree.
you've got Tylee. So it was a lot of nuggets in that testimony that really just showed again the gravity and also to me her awareness of the fact that her kids to me are no longer on this earth. That's how I took it as her words.
I want to jump back to Zulema in a second. Before that, you just said Lori Vallow Daybell's bus drove by. There's a reason we don't see her, right? Does she come into a different entrance into court?
She does. And there is a Sallyport very well hidden, so nobody is able to get any video evidence of her coming into the court. No photographs, nothing. So we see the bus go by, and that's the extent of it until we see her come in the courtroom.
I can't imagine she's waving to you, Gigi, at any point. Tinted windows, probably.
Maybe not.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. So
she might be calling in an earthquake on me, you know.
Well, let's go back to Zulema for a second, because I understand she's going to be back on the stand, back on cross-examination by Lori's attorneys. Are they trying to suggest, A, that she had her own fantastical beliefs, not the most credible person, because she try to cast souls or cast out spirits with Lori Vallow? I mean, isn't that kind of a critique of Zulema and the part of this belief system?
Yeah, she was much a part of this. And to me, the motive out of everybody in the group, as far as these castings go, there's a big text exchange they read on Friday where Zulema and Lori know that Charles and JJ are driving in a truck in Texas, and they try to use hocus pocus magic to make the truck wreck, which in turn, and they acknowledge, would kill both Charles and JJ.
Yeah.
She was kind of Lori's right-hand girl when it came to...
They were like, why don't you float above the car and you can strike them? It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Sessions and using the elements to do what they want.
Like you should use your powers and float above the car and strike them. Like, what the fuck? Come on. Like you're gonna hover like Superman and shit, you know? Come on now. Come on now.
Wanted. At one point in the text messages, and this wasn't testified to in court, but I've read them extensively. When they get to Rexburg, Alex tells Zulema they brought the dark one with them, and she said, who? And Alex says, Tylee. And then he asks Zulema if she can call an inner tornado on Tylee. In other words, that would mean in their world to kill her.
An inner tornado?
Now let's go into what we expect for today. So we mentioned Zulema, but aren't there family members of Lori Vallow Daybell who are going to take the stand today, and what are they going to say?
Well, I don't know for sure that they're going to take the stand, but I've had sources tell me that both Colby Ryan, her oldest and only surviving child, as well as her mother Janice, are in town. They've been spotted. We know that Summer, her sister, is set to testify at some point about a jailhouse call between her and Lori. So it should be a very interesting day of testimony. It's going to be interesting to see Lori's reactions when she sees her son and her sister, who were a huge part of her life before her arrest. And so I think it's going to be one of those days where you're going to want to stick with Law and Crime for the latest.
Speaking of that call, do we know anything about the substance of that phone call?
That's a plug.
We don't know what the contents of that phone call is. As you know, a lot of things have been kept under seal.
Yeah.
So we should learn today what is so important about this phone call and why Summer is a witness for the prosecution.
Well, let's just talk about that. So Summer and Colby, generally speaking, from what we know of them during the course of this case, what could you imagine they are going to testify to that would be helpful for the prosecution?
I'm not really sure as far as Colby goes. He was pretty removed from them during this whole time. But at the same time, he was trying to text Tylee and was getting these responses that didn't sound like her on the phone. And he was begging her to call, and then it just went silent. So the other thing, too, is Lori was sending Colby a lot of Venmo transfers on a very regular basis, over 40-something transactions over a certain period of time. So I'm not sure if they're going to get into that. But other than just the lack of contact with the kids, or maybe the last time that he saw them, he said that Tylee was very upset. She didn't want to move to Idaho. We all feel she went for JJ because she knew Lori at that point was probably not capable of caring for him the way he needed to be cared for. Tylee very much loved JJ and protected him. So it's going to be very interesting to see what comes out today. I think it's going to be a interesting day of testimony because Zulema is still on cross, and the defense attorney said quite lengthy.
Yes. Do we have an idea about the schedule of the rest of the trial? You know, we keep hearing, oh, this is going to last 8 weeks. Then we're hearing it's going to maybe be shorter. Any idea about how long this is actually going to last now?
Well, the 8 to 10 week estimate was when death was on the table for Lori. We know now that's been removed. Still on the table for Chad, but for Lori, it's life in prison if she's convicted. So I think without having to litigate or to use mitigation specialists and bring in mental health professionals, along with the fact that they're not using mental health as a defense. I think it kind of shortens that witness list. And who knows who the defense is going to call. I've heard it's not going to be very many at all. So I think this trial's rolling along. We're already talking to family. We've talked to the biggest players inside this group, other than Melanie Pulowski, who is Lori's niece, that was very much involved in this. So I feel like it's moving along at a pretty fast pace, and hopefully for the family's sake, for the Vallows, for Tylee's Aunt Annie Cushing and her daughter, who are having to sit in here day and day and hear these horrific details, that maybe this ends sooner than later and they can find some peace that this is over.
Final question I have for you. Lori Vallow Daybell in trial, in court. How has she been reacting to these, former friends, former associates testifying against her?
Well, I have to difference between how her body language was when Melanie Gibb was on the stand. It was a little more kind of jealousy, sort of look up and down. When Zulema came in the room, however, Lori seemed genuinely happy to see her. There were a couple of times she rolled her eyes.
Wow.
I was sitting right near her. At one point, Zulema said Lori ghosted her for a while. So Lori rolled her eyes and turned to her attorney and said, I did not ghost her. So, but still, there were some glances stolen. Lori watched all of her testimony, didn't her head down. So it was interesting, the dynamic there. That is her sister-in-law. Zulema was married to Lori's brother for 11 days before he dropped over dead. The day
11
after they
days?
exhumed Tammy Daybell's body, ironically.
Wow.
So who knows if maybe she feels a little bit of kinship to her still, knowing that was his brother's wife, but there was definitely a difference in her reaction.
11
between the two
days.
witnesses.
Gigi, able to break down such a complicated case for us. Thank you so much. I know you have to get into that courthouse, but stay dry in the snow, and great reporting as always.
All right, I came across this video. I thought it might be interesting. This is going to be on Court TV. And this is The Youth of Zion by Chad Daybell.
Dramatic reading by our great producer, Cody Thomas. We know what Chad Daybell's gift was, turning a phrase, writing books, and author. Tonight's reading is from The Youth of Zion, which today for things like dating and sexual purity, and tonight, temptation. Take a listen to our dramatic reading by producer, Cody.
Sometimes rumors are spread by church members or teachings are given that just don't feel right, but they seem to make sense. How can we determine if such things are true? Thankfully, there are ways we can recognize false doctrine. They include, what do the standard works have to say about it? What do the latter-day presidents say on the subject, particularly the living prophet? And the Holy Ghost, the test of the Spirit. By the Spirit, we may know the truth of all things. President Joseph F. Smith explained where most of the false doctrine within the church originated. First, the hopelessly ignorant. Second, the proud and self-vaunting one who read by the lamp of their own conceit, who interpret by rules of their own contriving, who have become a law unto themselves, and so pose as the sole judges of their own doings. These are more dangerously ignorant than the first.
Let's bring back in our guests, Mike King, Caitlin Becker. Mike, as I listen to that reading, it's like, hey, do you have a mirror, Chad? Lori, do you have a mirror?
Yeah. This is frustrating, isn't it? And I feel like I'm watching an episode of X-Men and all these special talents that these people seem to have. But here's the thing that really bugs me about these cult leaders are experts at taking one or two words out of a scripture or a saying and then twisting it for their own perverted needs and then presenting it as some form of gospel. And wouldn't it be great if we were all the prophet and we could just say, hey, here's what God wants us to do today. Oh, and by the way, it seems to benefit me a lot and not the rest of you.
Yeah, and if you don't
Caitlin
follow
Becker, your thoughts about some of the gifts that everyone has?
Daily
or,
Mail.
I mean, Zulema and the elements. I mean, have you seen the weather out in Idaho when she was testifying? Hail, sun, snow, cold, warm.
Certainly she's working with those gifts. These are just sort of wild, arbitrary things that make people feel special, feel chosen. And it's sad that it took something so simple to sort of indoctrinate these people. And then you look at what a hypocrite Chad Daybell is with these cockamamie writings that he comes up with. I don't know what point 4 was in his list, but if it wasn't, and they're named Chad Daybell and they look like me, I mean, talk about false prophet. He just, I don't know. I honestly don't know how he did it. When I have studied any kind of, cult or church leader in the past that has been on the fringes, I do see that charismatic side of him. But all I see every time I look at Chad Daybell is he's just a goober, and I cannot believe devastating destruction.
Yep. And again, this video. Can I add something? Go ahead. We have about 20 seconds. Finish this up.
Yeah,
Mike.
It boils down to where Zulema says this incredible love bombing coming in, and this idea you are special. For Alex, you are the arm of God, and Lori and Chad think they are God making determinations of what should happen.
Unbelievable. And that video is so significant because it all ends with them in Hawaii with a bag of money. Can never forget that. Mike King, thank you so much. Caitlin Becker, dailymail.com. Check out her.
All right, this is a News Nation video.
The thing, Bernarda, that sticks out to my list as former friend, and the sound heard in court this week from Lori Vallow's only surviving
Is she taking
son
the deaths of her
is
children
that she's
seriously?
flippant about the fact that her children are dead, or that those around her are, dying one by one. And she almost is like cackling and like nervously laughing in some of that. Is that something that you're noticing too when you hear her voice on some of these recordings?
Absolutely. And it's very troubling because you got to think that these are 2 kids that were killed. And either way, if she claims that she wasn't responsible for it, it's still her children that we're talking about. What was really troubling and what's compelling in this case was the testimony of the only living son, and that being Cody. And that recorded phone call with Cody, she even started laughing at some point.
Yeah,
when
giggling.
He's at anguish,
right in the beginning.
He's emotional. He is upset about what's going on, about where's JJ, where's Tylee, why did this happen, why didn't you tell me anything, why didn't you speak to me, why did you hide this? But yet she's laughing and just emotionally detached about what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Let's play a little bit of that testimony. This is from Lori Vallow's only surviving son, Colby Ryan, in court this week. Let's listen.
She appeared calm, very non-emotional, was kind of hanging out and seemed to be just having kind of some general conversation, not really upset, just kind of at one point she was laughing.
Told me that he had died from a heart attack.
From a heart attack?
From a heart attack.
Okay. Did she say anything about him being shot?
No. I saw Alex sitting on the couch watching me. He was wearing a white bandage around his head. I asked him why he was wearing the bandage, and he said that he got hit in the head with a bat and then shot Charles.
Did you see Lori Vallow that night?
Yes.
What was her general demeanor?
Calm.
All right, so that was a piece of sound from the detective talking about after her husband had been shot by her. I want to pull on from Colby conversation when he confronts.
Did she tell you about?
She told me that he had died from a heart attack.
From a heart attack? Okay. Did she say anything about him being shot?
No. And he said that he got hit in the head with a bat and then shot Charles.
Did you see Lori Vallow that night?
Yes.
What was her general demeanor?
Calm.
All right, so compelling. I wanted to play it twice. Bernardo, thank you. And my apologies that I went to that a second time. But I do think that his testimony really stands out of all of the things that we've heard. This is a son confronting his mom. In that clip, he describes her as calm. But in other clips, is angry at her and she laughs at him. For the jury to listen to this, is this the most damning thing that they have heard so far from a prosecution?
So I think the testimony from Colby is one of the most damning pieces against Lori Vallow. You got to think that in this case, there's no direct evidence that Lori Vallow killed these two kids and killed Tammy as well. What we have here is a lot of circumstantial evidence. But when a jury hears someone that is so close to the defendant, the son of the defendant, his emotion and how he confronts her with so much possessed in him that she is guilty, that she is responsible, I think it goes a long way. Also remember what he testifies to, that he had been texting Ty Lee, and at that point she had already been dead or had been missing, and the person that was responding was Lori Vallow. So he was being tricked by her, by his mother. So that just goes to show you so much emotion, deceit, all of this consciousness of guilt, that all's going to play a role in the guilt, finding the guilt of Lori Vallow.
Well, and the other thing that was interesting, those in the courtroom said that while he was testifying, he didn't look at his mom at all, but she was staring straight at him. And then when he went out of the courtroom, he sort of like disgustingly glared at her. It just shows you the inner workings of this relationship and what those two are feeling right now. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television.
Well, speaking of that Melanie Gibb, I'm going to put a link. There is a hour and 43-minute interview with Nate Eaton, East Idaho News. He was the one that tracked down Lori and Chad in Hawaii that we watched on the last episode. So this is the full interview with an hour and 43 minutes.
I've been waiting 5 months to talk to you. And you've not.
We might save that for a future show because I bet that's interesting as hell. Completely different than the testimony. But that's 2 years ago, so that'll be interesting to see what she actually does say and doesn't in the future. But there's two clips that I want to check out since they were talking about Melanie Gibb. Let me see here. So they're both Law and Crime Network. And this is the one about reveals details about her beliefs in a secret phone call. Yeah, we'll be doing hangouts tomorrow night.
Very soon here.
We'll be doing hangouts tomorrow night for sure. Games, comedy, chilling back. I do want to watch episode or 2 of Tales from the Crypt.
Welcome back to Law and Crime. Well, I kind of overpromised and now I'm under-delivering. Getting Gigi set up still. We got to get the tin cans, a long string. It's a whole process. But we'll have that for you very soon here. She is, of course, in Boise, Idaho, as we follow the Lori Vallow Daybell triple murder case. Before we took the break, we were listening to some of the testimony. Again, the court is releasing audio only on a delayed basis. And we had Detective Hermosillo, who was one of the first involved in the disappearance as it was first characterized, the disappearance of the two kids. Then it became obviously much more. He was direct examined yesterday, earlier today, some cross-examination. Let's go back for more of that audio interview.
Detective, as part of your investigation, did you help execute a search warrant on the Daybell residence?
Yes, I did.
When was that?
June 9th, 2020.
What is the address of that residence?
202 North, 1900 East, Fremont County.
Okay. Now, just for clarification, what city is that listed in?
It's listed in Rexburg.
Okay.
But it's in Fremont County.
Okay, because Rexburg is normally in Madison County.
Correct.
Correct. Okay. As you executed that search warrant on June 9th, what was the first thing you did?
On June 9th, we got to Chad Daybell's residence at approximately 7 in the morning. We went and made contact, knocked on the front door. Chad Daybell's son, Mark Daybell, answered the door. He had a bowl of cereal in his hand. He was eating cereal. It was early in the morning. And we informed Mark why we were there and that we needed to speak with Chad Daybell.
Okay. Then what happened?
Mark told us that his dad, Chad, was still asleep and directed us to Chad's room, which is it's like a loft room that was above the garage area. So we walked us through the house and to the stairwell of Chad's room.
Okay. And what did you observe then?
We walked up the stairwell, announced ourselves. Chad was still asleep in bed as we came around the little half wall. Chad sat up. We told Chad why we were there, that we had a search warrant, search the property and the residence. He asked if he can get dressed and get some clothes on. We allowed him to do that. And then he walked back downstairs with us into the kitchen area.
So very important testimony for this jury, kind of laying the foundation for the investigation into the missing kids, JJ and Tylee, which soon became far worse. And again, we're following the Lori Vallow Daybell case out of Idaho. Bob Mata's here. Tyler Bailey. You know, there's I think maybe, I don't know, a feeling by the prosecution to just dump everything they can on a jury because there is so much in this case. But I get the feeling this has been more restrained in the way they laid it out in openings and in now the way they're just kind of putting some of the early building blocks together. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I agree. You know, a lot like Murdoch, there's going to be a lot for the jury to digest. And a lot like Murdoch, it's going to have to be put together in a way that they can digest it. You know, I mean, because at the end of the day, this is not going to be about them producing evidence that Lori Vallow got her hands dirty, meaning that she actually is the one who committed the crimes. You know, I keep calling her the puppet master, and I'm going to keep saying it until it sticks, because that's what she was. I mean, she had these guys, every man in her life, doing her bidding. And, you know, the sad truth of the matter is that her bidding was to rid herself of these two kids. You know, the culpability, it sticks with her. It doesn't matter if she was actually doing the deeds. If she was instructing and maneuvering these guys to do what she wanted to have done, she's just as culpable.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're definitely who's doing what and when. We just know the ultimate
Right.
and horrible result. Tyler, hang in there for just a minute because I have Gigi. Gigi is now outside the courthouse, and she's very important. She's got a schedule. We got to keep this on schedule. Gigi McKelvey. So what do you think, Gigi? The testimony has been fascinating, right? Melanie Gibb on the stand today, especially on cross. Give us the feel.
You got snow jinx? Damn.
Well, I have to say, the jurors came in looking fresh-faced. They had their notebooks and their pencils. They looked ready to go. And then as this testimony progressed, their faces told a story. They were perplexed. They were shocked. They were trying to digest some of these crazy beliefs that Melanie Gibb was telling the court that they believed in, such as zombies and dark spirits entering bodies and casting out sessions where they would try to pray these dark demonic entities out of bodies. And this jury has had a heck of a twist this morning. And the other thing, they finally heard that Charles Vallow was shot by Alex Cox, who is Lori's brother. You could see the reaction on their face when it took that turn as well.
You know, we were talking earlier about how important the jury selection was in this case, how most folks had to have had some sense of it. But it sounds like to me, from what you were observing in the courtroom, that these jury members were hearing some stuff that was fresh to them and shocking, as it was to anybody who heard it the first time. And we know the whole preppers experience was kind of how Lori and Chad got together, and that spirals into all of these, you know, zombie stories, bringing people back from the dead. What do you think about Melanie Gibb? How's she doing? You know, we've seen so much of her in other contexts, in interviews. How's she doing on the stand?
She's holding her own on the state. For people that know this case, she kind of downplays her beliefs in what they were teaching back then. She was very much involved. She was Lori's best friend throughout this whole process.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's coming across as credible. I haven't seen or heard anything from her that would make me think a juror would not take her seriously. I mean, she's admitting to some kind of embarrassing things that she was a part of, and it's kind of visible with her at times too. She'll put her head down and kind of look down.
Is she the
It's
one
been
that?
interesting to watch the dynamic between Lori. Lori has stolen some glances, as has Melanie, and when they lock eyes, they divert really quickly. There's a little bit of tension in that courtroom with those two.
I can imagine the proverbial daggers in the eyes, maybe going both ways.
Is Melanie the one that she was doing the podcast with?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Do you get the sense from Melanie that there was a turning point in her relationship with Lori? And if so, in the testimony, have you heard her talk about that? Because clearly they were buds for a long time.
That's a good question.
Yeah, really the turning point came when Lori told authorities during the welfare check that JJ was with Melanie Gibb in Arizona. And in fact, later on, Alex Cox, who was Lori's brother, told Melanie Gibb, wow, she really threw you under the bus. And not only that, but Lori and Chad separately called Melanie Gibb that day and told her not to answer the phone when police called.
Do I have
and
that
gave her a
video?
story that JJ was in danger and he was somewhere safe. Lori specifically told Melanie Gibb on a phone call that they played in court, by the way, a 20-minute phone call that Melanie Gibb recorded.
I need to add that
she
one to
knew
my
exactly
interviews
where JJ was and that he was
episodes.
safe and happy. This is Lori. So that's something that is going to come back, I think, later on in this trial.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that. I was curious whether the jury had heard some of these surreptitiously recorded calls. These obviously occurred after Melanie Gibb became
Yeah, I do have
the
it.
former
Nice.
best friend of Lori Vallow, because she did these phone calls. I think we have one of those calls, producer Elizabeth. Can we listen to that?
Yeah, we'll have that in the interviews episodes coming up. I'll have them scheduled this weekend for future dates.
How are you guys?
What?
They're okay. How are you doing, babe? I'm doing pretty good, thanks. I was wondering, where are you guys?
Melanie Gibb is recording this.
Hanging out. Are you in Idaho? Okay. I just wanted to ask you a question, if you don't mind, Lori. Yeah, I want to know, you remember we talked about JJ going to Kay's house, and you told me they went there, and now he's not there? I was wondering what happened. Well, I had to move him somewhere else because of her actions. So, was she doing something? Like, was she trying to come get him or something, or like trying to kidnap him? Well, she said that lots of times before, but okay.
She's pretty bad at lying on the fly.
Hey, where is JJ? And he said, for my security, he didn't want me to know. So is there a reason I should be in danger to know where he is? No, it's nobody. It's his danger. It's the danger that there's people after me. Okay. So
if you know, that puts you in a danger.
Well, just in a bad position.
Bad position.
Everybody, if they don't know anything, then they don't have to say they know. Right, so you're just worried. Okay. I'm just to keep him protected and
keep you protected.
And keep everybody else good. I appreciate that. Well, I was wondering why you
all
told
about
the
that
police
protection.
why he was with me. I just needed to have somebody so I wouldn't have to tell them where he really was, because they were going to tell Kay where he is. Oh, yeah. So do you think it's like your family, or like your family, your dad, or those people? My family, well, not my whole family, but as you know, most of my family is against me and with her, basically. Yeah. Is JJ safe? He is safe and happy. Okay, well, that's good to hear. Are you afraid of anything? Like, are you afraid to tell me that you're just afraid that that I could be sure? Like you're, like I don't, like if I knew, like how could that hurt me? I don't understand how that could hurt me if I knew where he was. Well, I'm just not telling anybody so that nobody has to say where he is or get questioned where he is, so I can keep him as safe as possible.
Are the kids safe? Oh, yeah, they're great. That call took place in December of 2019. 2019. Pretty certain they were not.
Come on,
great
you could
at
tell
or
she
about
was
that
lying
time. Gigi
without
McCovey
even
here, so
knowing
from
her.
the courthouse there in Boise, Idaho. Let me ask you about Chad. How is that being handled in this case? Is he being discussed at all, mentioned at all? How are they doing that?
Oh yeah, she definitely became suspicious.
Yeah, it's come more with Melanie Gibbs' testimony than it has so far, where they're really just sort of introducing the belief system, and Lori would get her answers from him, and then Lori would convey those things that she learned from Chad to other people. So we're starting to kind of build the framework of this group, which is central to the story, these beliefs that they had.
So we know that Chad is going to be tried separately. There's not been a trial date set for his trial yet, and who knows what impact this trial may have on what he decides to do. Who knows if this goes totally south? Maybe he takes a plea deal. I mean, have you heard anything about how he's cooling his heels, and is he going to testify in this case?
We have not heard that. His attorney is here today. He just walked across the street about 10 minutes ago, not talking to reporters, but he's been a consistent fixture here. And I mean, he is a front row seat to kind of what's to come for his client. Maybe he tells him, look, man, it's not looking good for you. Let's just plead guilty and get, that way you don't get put to death. Death is still on the table for Chad, not for Lori, but Chad is still an option. So he's set to go to trial either late this year or early next year. We still haven't had a date set.
Yeah, that is a heavy chip on the poker table there, is that the death sentence. So before I let you go, I know you got to get back in there and grab your seat. So what do we get done? Do you have any idea who's coming up?
No idea. I've been looking out to see if there's any of the key players here. I literally almost ran into Melanie Gibb upstairs, and I immediately got on Twitter on Law and Crime and said, hey, she's here. So I was expecting more forensic, like pathology stuff, but or medical examiner. But man, she came out of nowhere. So who knows? Maybe we'll have another one of their key group members on the stand next. I'm very curious to see. Can't wait to update you guys.
Yeah, I can't wait to see who you literally bump into next in the hallway there. So head back up, Gigi. Thank you so much. Great stuff. We look forward to your next report here out of Boise, Idaho.
The jokes.
Thank you.
You bet.
The jokes. Now, this is a video that's covering Alex Cox's death. I do have that full Melanie Gibb interview with LE, so I will be including that. It'll be a two-parter. There's a lot to it, so it'll definitely take up 2 shows worth. So I might actually do that maybe Monday and Tuesday. I might do that, or maybe Sunday and Monday night, some kind of combo like that, where I'll do 2 of them, and then maybe Tuesday I can catch up on whatever case that we're going to catch up on. I'll definitely probably do Letitia Sunday afternoon, do a surprise show Sunday afternoon, cover Letitia for a little bit, maybe do a small show for that one. Not too long, maybe like an hour and a half or something. Yeah, game night tomorrow. And so I'm going to go into this. This will be the last video for this evening, and then we can kind of chit chat and hang out for a few before we sign off. We'll be checking out this Doomsday Cult Mom trial, Alex Cox's death, where it discusses it. This one from Michelle After Dark. Did Lori bump off her brother? Alex Cox autopsy report explained. If there's another video, I would probably go to it. This one's kind of lengthy, 16 minutes. I'm just wondering if this Court TV one explains the autopsy. I bet it does. I'm going to go ahead and go to the Court TV one. And then we'll go ahead and sign off and we'll end it for the evening. But yeah, I got an idea. So let me run it by you when we're done with this for tomorrow night.
Take a look at the medical examiner's report. This is, again, Alex Cox, Lori's brother. All of this happening right around the
Yes,
time
they did, Jinx.
that Tammy Daybell's being exhumed. Medical examiner's report.
Well, cool. They do go into it. They did, but only if they're unable to get the supplies needed for the lethal injection. But they did bring it back. Good night, Honeybee. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate your company. Hot box my shit.
What'd I miss?
Phantom said, hot boxed my shed. Was gone for a while. Hot box in the shed. Okay, cool. It does go into the autopsy here. I'm gonna have to get some pictures off this.
It's for you.
And then he died. Bathroom, he was on the toilet, passed out. Take a look at the medical examiner's report. This is, again, Alex Cox, Lori's brother. All of this happening right around the time that Tammy Daybell's being exhumed. Medical examiner's report, Alex Cox, death, 12/12/2019. Cause of death, bilateral pulmonary, word I cannot pronounce. Contributory cause of death, word I cannot pronounce. And hypertensive cardiovascular disease. Manner of death, natural. Okay. That's interesting. I want you to see something else that's interesting. There was a police interview with his wife, Zulema. Zulema is his wife. Okay, they got married shortly before all this happened. She was interviewed by police when he died. Take a look. Alex began having shortness of breath on or about 12/6. He had traveled to Mexico on 12/7 to pick up some prescriptions for himself and Zulema. It was a single day trip, and he arrived back home in the evening.
Pick up
So
prescriptions.
Zulema's apparently telling investigators that he went down to Mexico to get some drugs, and he was shortness of breath. Oh, there's another factor in the timing of all this,
That's
which
weird.
is
I never heard that. He went to
Tammy Daybell's death being looked at again. Take a listen.
Okay, but he just said Alex. Oh, okay. So he began having shortness of breath on about 12/6. He then traveled to Mexico on 12/7. Why would he go to frickin' Mexico? Why would he go to frickin' Mexico to get medicine, though? It was a single day trip, and he arrived back home in the evening. When he arrived home, their grandkids were at the house. Alex was playing with the kids and became easily winded. Zulema had never seen him react that way before. He was short of breath and had to sit down to take a break. He seemed to be struggling for breath. A couple days later, he went to the kitchen to get a bottle of water and became winded and had to sit down. Zulema begged him to let her take him to urgent care. Alex refused and said he would be fine. He would become winded walking up and down stairs. On the evening of 12/11, she again asked him to let her take him to the doctor or hospital. Alex again refused and stated the doctors don't know what they are doing. On the morning of 9/12, Alex was awake at about 800 hours. Zulema needed to leave for work. So
I do know you can get some medications in Mexico you can't in the U.S., like prescriptions and stuff. because
Plus, they're cheap. They're cheaper in Mexico than they are here.
Well, you can get prescriptions in Mexico for like antibiotics and stuff over the counter. It's not as well regulated as here. So.
And you can bring that back through the border?
Technically, no, but I mean, do they frisk you? Would it not be possible to go in, buy a box of pills, throw it in a plastic bag, and?
I mean, I guess
know?
if he already committed a couple unalivings, I guess he would be cool, calm, and collective going through the border with the Mexican prescription.
Yeah, I mean.
So I wonder when the last contact he had with Lori, then, if he was having shortness of breath on about 12/6. So when did he have last contact with Lori or Chad? I need to find that out. When was Alex last with Lori or Chad? And he began having shortness 12/6. Oh, I think that's a typo. I think they meant 12/9, not 9/12. No, on the evening of 12/11. What? Okay, I'm confused right there. I need the actual whole report.
Some prescriptions for himself and Zulema. It was a single day trip, and he arrived back home in the evening. So Zulema's apparently telling investigators that he went down to Mexico to get some drugs, and he was shortness of breath. Oh, there's another factor in the timing of all this, which is Tammy Daybell's death being looked at again. Take a listen.
What day did Alex pass away?
December 12th.
Okay. You received information about anything
12/12.
going on in Rexburg, or actually in Utah the day before Alex passed away?
I had a very long day at work, and I came home probably around 7:30 p.m. And when I came into my bedroom, Alex was on the phone with Chad and Lori, and they were telling him that Tammy's body was being exhumed on that day. That was December 11th. I was very confused about the reason why they would be exhuming Tammy's body. I was asking him, why would they be exhuming her body if she had died of natural causes, or and I asked him if he was involved in anything that to do with Tammy's death.
And then what did he say?
He said no. I started pressuring him for information. So I told him, I said, what is going on? What is happening? How come they are not here? You don't even know where they're at. We don't even know where they're at now.
When you say they, who are you talking about?
Lori and Chad. We don't know where Lori and Chad are at. What is happening?
And what reaction did he have? Ultimately, what did he say?
He was very quiet and unresponsive. And then he said, I think I'm being their fall guy. One of the times when I was walking away from him, he said, Zulema, either I am a man of God or I am not.
And then Alex passed away the next day?
Wow.
He passed away the next day.
Wow.
This is unreal. This is unreal. They're exhuming a body. He dies after a conversation with Chad and Lori. What is going on?
So it was
in all of this.
Wow.
Let's bring back in Chanley Painter, Mike King, Caitlin Becker. Chanley, all the
day
things happen. Who
before?
else is there? Do we know who else is around Alex
On 12/11?
at that point? Like the day and the day before he dies, are there other people there? or is it just Zulema?
Wow, there you go.
Well, we know that Zulema's son was in the home. He's actually the one that places the 911 call.
Wow.
His mom calling him to say, check on Alex, check on Alex. He's the one that finds him in the bathroom, calls 911, but he doesn't know really what's going on. He's in his room, headphones or whatever. He didn't even know, I think his mom was married. They'd only been married a couple of weeks at the time that Alex passes away, but a lot of bizarre timing of his death. And today she was cross-examined about it as well and really became emotional when she talks about, she couldn't remember her wedding date, Vinny, today. So the defense is like, why can't you remember your wedding date? She's like, there's a lot of trauma that went on around that time. And what trauma? And she starts crying and has to gather her words and collect herself. And she goes to December 12th when she said, all of a sudden I come home from work and Alex is dead in my bathroom, and goes through that again today on Cross.
Wow. Kate LeBeck, our senior reporter, dailymail.com. Let's talk about this death. This one has never sat well with most folks who have followed this story, but there's no charges associated with it. But the timing and everything else here is so peculiar.
I don't necessarily believe in coincidences with these types of cases. The fact that Tammy's body was going to be exhumed and then 24 hours later, the person who we believe killed Tammy drops dead in a family where everyone seems to be dropping dead. I mean, you'll have to remember, initially Tammy Daybell's cause of death was ruled as a natural cause of death as well, but that changed. And I wonder if a deeper look into Alex Cox's death may reveal that there was something nefarious. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor and I couldn't pronounce that word either, but I believe he had a pulmonary embolism. I believe that's what that said in the medical report. And if I were an investigator, would be looking up what can someone to have a pulmonary embolism if it is not natural, and see if there are any threads to pull there.
Absolutely. All right, Mike King, I say something for you here. This is Zulema Pastena's testimony. When Alex was laying dead on the floor, we took him to the hospital emergency room, and they worked on him for an hour. He was connected to machines. They were doing CPR on him. Then I had to give them the okay to have the machines turned off. Pulled the plug on him after an hour. What do you find suspicious? Do you find that suspicious? Do you find the timing of the death suspicious? Do you find the alleged trip to Mexico to pick up some drugs suspicious? What are you seeing in here?
There were some interesting things going on in his past anyway, where he was making trips to Mexico on a fairly regular basis. So that I kind of look at as, okay, kind of interesting, but how important really is it? The thing that I find interesting is the timing of events. Number one, that they exhumed Tammy Daybell's body, and that's a day before. That's going to certainly, if he has something to do with this thing, it's going to certainly increase his blood pressure. And if he's suffering from some problems already, man, his blood pressure is starting to go up. But then we get these behavioral things, this nonverbal behavior going on of the physical and physiological things happening. But then we get the verbal things where he says to Zulema, hey, listen, I think I'm going to be the fall guy for them. Who says I'm going to be the fall guy, Vinny, unless they know something is suspicious going on over here? So that then becomes really important. And people say, well, I'm kind of frustrated because Zulema didn't remember when she was married. I'll tell you what, in many of these closed societies, when marriages are arranged, and I'm not convinced this wasn't an arranged marriage, it's just a system of checking the boxes. And she very well may not have had that day that she dreamed about for a wedding in December. It may have been arranged. She may have just been trying to check the box to prove her worthiness. And that's what's so stinking frightening about these groups, is these groups teach or imply that this exalted justifiable ends is what's going to make everything worthwhile.
All right, Mike King.
I like his YouTube channel too. I can't remember what it's called. Does anybody remember?
No, I don't.
I like his YouTube channel too. Damn, I'm trying to think of what it is.
CJ, I think I'm going to get off.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the show as well. Just kind of chit chat and say goodbye. Thanks for hanging out.
Night,
Oh, no
Appreciate it.
problem. Night,
We'll be
Kevin.
having game night tomorrow night.
I like games.
Oh yeah. Plus, you'll be able to join, right?
Oh yeah. Unless I go in, but game night, so why would I? Considering I was just informed yesterday. Oh yeah, you have to come in on your day off next week.
Oh, tomorrow?
No, it's next
You have to
week,
go in
next
tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
No, I gotta go in next Wednesday. I guess they're shutting the plant down for something sometime this weekend or next week. I haven't even heard details of the plan yet. And with all that, we got to do a bunch of extra stuff and fire up the lines. And I don't understand why they're bringing extra people in when we do that with our regular shift all the time. But whatever.
Well, at least you'll be able to join tomorrow night, man. We get to do another night of Jackbox.
Heck yeah. I love
And I
this Jackbox.
was gonna ask you guys. I have LA Noire. I never played it except for like maybe an hour. If you guys would like to help me solve some crimes as an old cop, let me know. I could always do that for a little bit too. Definitely going to check out an episode or two of Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah. Is LA Noire, wasn't that like an old like Xbox game or something? Or is that something else?
Yeah, let me share it real quick.
Because if it's the one I'm thinking of, what would you be doing? Just playing and we watch? Or is it like an interactive where...
You can... Here.
Okay, I'm thinking of a different game then.
I don't know the names of the women I've killed, but I've killed many of them. The way they look at me, the way they flinch at my touch, so be it.
This is the game.
What have we got? White female dumped in plain sight. I'll bet a month's salary this is a copycat.
4 women, all murdered, all put on display, all with messages.
The examiner received a new letter today.
We got the wrong guy.
And why would I want to meet another fascist from the LAPD?
Stay away.
Good night, Chink.
Tell me what I want to know, or I will have half the LAPD down here tearing this place apart.
This world is only temporary. I'm helping people be together.
If ever there was a time for extracting a confession, this was it.
So basically, I interrogate suspects. I actually have to interrogate them. There's different answers that come with each. They have facial expressions that go with it. It's totally interactive, so it would be kind of cool to, like, you know, investigate crime scenes. We have to look over.
I was going to say the end of that preview said it's available on May 17th. I was like, it's not May yet.
No, that was like, gosh, when did that game come out?
Oh, okay. I got you then.
2007, maybe. It's old, but I never played it.
Okay, that is the game I'm thinking of. I didn't realize it was that interactive. Okay.
Yeah, it's totally geared towards looking over evidence, tracking down leads, investigating leads, interrogations. You have to, like, determine if people are being honest with you or not, and then that each answer opens up a different route for the interrogation. So it's definitely cool where, like, you guys could hang around with me. I could actually play it on my Xbox and stream it through StreamYard, you guys would still be able to help me do interrogations and things like that. So
Okay.
I thought about doing that a little bit, maybe for the show, if you guys would want tomorrow night. But
Might be
definitely
fun
a
for something
Tales from the
different.
Crypt Jackbox. Maybe watch some more comedy or something. Just hang out and BS, you know. A hangout.
I like hangout nights.
Hell yeah. It's fun. Just kick back and chill and chat. Hop on up on panel, everybody, if you're able to. Shoot. We got 10 chairs. We're just hanging out tomorrow night. But thanks
Yeah,
for
it's
hanging
fun.
out tonight, man. It is.
no problem.
And I'm glad you get to hang out again tomorrow night, man. And
Yeah, I just wish
join
I
in the
could
fun.
all weekend, but sadly I work this weekend. But, oh well.
We
I'm just
gotta
happy I
figure
found
out
a new
pool.
block of wood to paint.
We got to figure out pool. I need to play some damn pool against y'all.
I agree.
Do you have a laptop at all? Or
I
a
do.
desktop?
I'm
I bet-
looking at my laptop right now. I
bet you it'd work. I bet you that's the trick. Because I think if you're doing it from mobile, then it does the mobile pool table. But I think if you're doing it from desktop or laptop, then I think it actually gives you the... Let's try it out tonight if you want. I don't know how late you staying up. Maybe I'll stream that as a separate stream.
If we wanted to try that, I got to run downstairs and grab my mobile
Bitty
hotspot
bop.
so I'll have internet. But give me like 5 minutes, I can try.
Well, I'm going to eat something after the show's over and stuff. Hit me up on Facebook. We'll see what's up. And then, I don't know, I might be doing a surprise stream in a little bit. If we can
Okay.
get some pool figured out or something. Yeah, I'm starving.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to need like another 10, 15 minutes to finish what I'm doing and grab that. So you definitely
All right.
got time.
Well, yeah, hit me up on Facebook, man.
Okay.
And I'll see all you guys tomorrow night. I'll be on at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, just a little bit because we do go so late in Friday night. So I like getting on at 7 and 8. Gives you guys a little chance to get caught up on whatever. But we will be back 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock
And it lets you
Eastern.
brag how much later you get to go.
What?
And it lets you brag because you're like, oh yeah, we stayed on until 3:30 a.m.
Well, I got a new schedule coming up here May 1st, so I'll let you guys know what my new schedule is at work coming up May 1st.
Another one.
And yeah, I'll be doing some late morning, early afternoon, and evening streams on Fridays coming up that I'll explain tomorrow night what the new schedule is going to be. It's called Summer Hours.
Summer
So we'll
hours
see.
with Evil CJ.
Summer Hours. Thank you. Appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I hope you have a peaceful and positive evening.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, have a good one.
Hit you up in a little bit.
Yeah.